I chilling on Kunlun Mountain with my 99 masters. Yeah, you heard that right, 99, and every single one of them was literally begging me to leave. Like, full-on crying, screaming. One dude straight up started stabbing himself in the stomach just to guilt-trip me into packing my bags. Master 39, bless his dramatic heart, was out there going, leave or I die, while blood was flying everywhere. Real classy sensei. Look, it's not my fault I'm too talented. 5 years I spent up there, and I basically speed ran every skill they had. Martial arts, medicine, swordsmanship, disguise techniques, poison making, magical needles, you name it. I didn't just learn it all, I got better than them. Apparently that's annoying. They were handing me stuff just to make me go. Bank cards connected to the Rothschild fortune, a token that commands 300,000 holy soldiers, a book of forbidden needle techniques, beauty pill recipes. One guy was basically like, here, take this, become the ultimate girlfriend whisperer, just leave. So I left. And behind me, I could hear 99 of the world's most powerful humans cheering like it was Christmas morning. Heartwarming, truly. I hopped on a plane back to Jiangnan City. 5 years ago, some lunatics crashed my college celebration dinner and killed my parents and my big brother. I barely escaped with my life. 6 senior sisters saved me and dragged me up the mountain. Now I was coming back with a vengeance and a very specific skill set. I arrived at my old family villa. Total wreck. Weeds everywhere. Looked like a haunted house. I dropped to my knees in front of the place and swore this would be the last time I ever kneel. Some villagers spotted me, recognized me, and immediately started shushing each other like my family name was basically Voldemort around here. By the time they looked again, I was already gone. Ninja stuff, you know. Inside the villa grounds, I found 3 graves: Dad, Mom, Big Brother, all neatly set up. The person who built them? Zhou Ruoyu, my childhood fiancé, 1 year younger than me. Our dads were sworn brothers who arranged our marriage back when we were kids. Before everything went to hell, the plan was simple. Finish college, marry the girl, live happily ever after. Instead I got family massacred, flee to mountain, learn kung fu from 99 weirdos. Then, clang, something dropped behind me, and a girl's trembling voice called out my name. Yi Beichen, is that you? You're back. So Zhou Ryu saw my face and immediately turned into a waterfall. Like, full emotional meltdown. She launched herself into my arms, crying so hard I thought she'd drown us both. The offerings she brought for my family's graves smashed all over the ground. Real dramatic stuff. I thanked her for burying my parents and brother. Sweet moment, right? Wrong. Because 2 seconds later this girl did a complete 180, shoved me away, and started screaming at me to get lost. We're done. I'm breaking off our engagement. Get out of Jiangnan. She was acting like I was a walking plague. Old Zhou, the family butler who's known me since I was in diapers, spotted me and nearly had a heart attack. Young Master Beichen, you're alive? Ruoyu immediately went into denial mode. Nope. Never seen this man. Wrong guy. Totally a stranger. Let's go Zhou. She literally covered her ears and dove into the car like it was a getaway vehicle. Here's the thing though, I'm not stupid. She was trying to protect me. If the people who killed my family found out I was alive, I'd be target practice again. And the girl had been visiting my family's graves every single week for 5 years. 5 years. Even buried their bodies herself. This woman is basically a saint who's terrible at acting. Then I overheard 2 neighborhood aunties gossiping, because aunties are the true intelligence network of any city. They told me Ryu was being forced to get engaged to some rich brat named Zhao Tai. Tomorrow. The Zhao family. The Zhao family. My blood went ice cold. Because guess who was part of the murder squad that killed my parents? The Zhao family. Zhao Ken, second master Zhao. I will never forget that face. So let me get this straight. They killed my family, and now they're taking my fiancé? Oh, that's just beautiful. New grudges, old grudges. We're running a BOGO special on revenge now. I dropped my name to the aunties like a mic drop and vanished before they could pick their jaws up off the ground. That night, I sat in front of the 3 graves with wine and offerings. Poured a drink for Dad. Told Mom I missed her. Told Big Brother to take care of them down there. And I made a promise. Nobody's taking Ryu, and the Zhao family is getting absolutely demolished. Every single one. Next morning, the Zhao family threw the most obnoxious engagement party in history. Five-star hotel, Rolls-Royces and Bentleys and Maybachs lined up like a luxury car dealership, Lamborghinis and Ferraris as side decoration. They literally shut down an entire road. All the big shots in Jiangnan showed up kissing Zhao family, but while the Zhao relatives looked down their noses at Ryu's small-time family like they were doing charity work, the MC announced the engagement. Everyone clapped. Champagne mood. Life was beautiful for the Zhao family. For about 3 more seconds. Because boom, a giant pitch-black coffin came flying through the doors and crashed right into the middle of the banquet hall. Yeah, I sent them a coffin. As a wedding gift. Because I have style. Every single guest went dead silent. The Zhao family looked like they were about to have simultaneous strokes. And then my voice echoed through the room. Ryu, you want to break off our engagement? I don't agree. I'm not letting you go, and I'd like to see who's brave enough to take you from me. I walked into that hotel like I owned the place, and honestly, the vibes were immaculate. Royu's jaw hit the floor. Her parents looked like they'd seen a ghost. Every rich person in the room was doing that. Wait, isn't he supposed to be dead? Face. Chef's kiss. Then good old Zhao Ken, the guy who literally helped murder my family, had the audacity to call me a little bastard and screamed for his goons to grab me. Real welcoming energy at this engagement party. So about 50 thugs in fancy suits surrounded me. Very intimidating. I was shaking in my boots. Just kidding. But first, Zhao Tai, the lovely groom-to-be, grabbed Ryu's wrist. Big mistake. Huge. I snatched a dagger from one of the guards, flicked it across the room, and cleanly separated his hand from his wrist. The guy dropped like a sack of potatoes, screaming his lungs out. His dad started yelling for an ambulance, and I was like, nah, save your minutes. Call the funeral home instead. That coffin I brought. It's for your family. Then I started walking toward them. Just walking. Every thug that rushed me got launched into orbit with a single kick. Nobody could get back up. It was basically bowling, but with humans. They brought out their big gun, literally their best fighter. Shin Ao, head combat instructor for the king of Jiangnan's army of 100,000 soldiers. Massive dude. Square jaw. Muscles on his muscles. He told me to leave. I told him this wasn't his business. He jumped at me like a monkey, threw a punch at my face. I slapped him on top of the head. He died. Just stood there, went stiff, and tipped over like a falling tree. His last words? Heaven rank warrior. Real helpful identification there, buddy. Thanks for the introduction I didn't need. The entire room collectively lost their minds. Apparently, there are only 3 heaven rank warriors in all of Jiangnan, and now everyone was realizing I'm one of them. After only 5 years of training, Zhao Ken was having a full meltdown. Impossible. 5 years. Can't be real. And then, oh, this is my favorite part. This genius pulled out a gun, pointed it right at my head, started monologuing about how even the best kung fu can't beat a bullet, told me to kneel. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I kept walking toward him. Step, step, step. Everyone was screaming. Ryu was crying. Zhao Tai was on the ground howling about his missing hand. Zhao Urchin's forehead was basically a waterfall of sweat. The man was terrified, and I was loving it. This clown chased me for 3 months 5 years ago. Now he gets to feel what fear tastes like. He pulled the trigger. The bullet spiraled straight at my head. I caught it. With my hand. Like swatting a mosquito. Then I just tossed it aside. Every single person in that room forgot how to breathe. Someone literally said, "Are we in a movie right now?" Another one was convinced it was CGI. In real life. At a hotel. These people, I swear. Zhao Ken panicked and tried to shoot again, but I was already in front of him. I stuck one finger into the barrel and sent a pulse of energy through it. The entire gun disassembled itself into dozens of tiny pieces and rained down on the floor like sad confetti. One finger took apart a whole gun. I'm not gonna lie, even I thought that was pretty cool. Zhao Ken collapsed onto his butt, staring up at me with the face of a man who'd just seen his entire life flash before his eyes, and whispered, Are you even human? You tell me, I said with my best villain smirk. Zhao Ken was literally shaking on the floor, and honestly, I was enjoying this. This man chased me for 3 months, and I nearly died in a river. Now look at him, sitting in his own fear pudding. Who sent you to kill my family? I asked. Simple question, right? I don't know, he stammered. Liar. I could see the panic in his eyes. He knew exactly who it was, but he was more scared of them than he was of me standing right here ready to redecorate the floor with him. Which means whoever's behind this is seriously terrifying. Cool. Love that for me. I was about 2 seconds from ending this man's subscription to life when some old dude in traditional clothes stepped in. Tang Jing, head of the Tang family, claiming he was here, representing the king of Jiangnan. He hit me with that classic power play line about how I'm disrespecting the king by causing trouble. My response: even if the king showed up himself, he doesn't get to tell me who I can and can't kill. You could hear every butt cheek in that room clench simultaneously. Ruiyu was over there vibrating with excitement. Her parents looked like their brains needed a reboot. And old man Tang was standing there with his mouth open like a broken mailbox. He started lecturing me about rules and hierarchy and blah blah blah, so I slapped him across the room. He flew through the air like a sad kite and face-planted on the ground. Done. Next. Then the big boss showed up. Zhang Heihu, commander of the 3,000 Black Tiger Guards, one of the king of Jiangnan's 30-unit commanders. This guy walked in wearing a battle robe like he was cosplaying a general from ancient times. Very dramatic entrance. Behind him, 3,000 soldiers flooded into the hotel lobby. The killing intent was so thick you could spread it on toast. Zhang Heihu and Zhao Ken are sworn brothers, by the way. Because of course they are. My family, 3 lives, and you call that a small matter? I asked. This man literally scoffed and said, "You think that's a big deal?" Something inside me snapped. These people in power, treating my parents and brother like they were nothing. Like their lives were spare change. Fine then, I laughed. And trust me, it was not a happy laugh. Then all you powerful people can join my family in the afterlife today. Zhang Heihu called me a jumping clown and sent 10 Black Tiger Guards after me. Just 10. Each one was a yellow rank warrior. He thought that was enough. I flattened all 10 before any of them could even touch me. They went down like bowling pins in a hurricane. Zhang Heihu's face went dark. Then Zhao Ken, bless his timing, decided to finally mention, "Oh yeah, by the way, he killed head instructor Shineo with 1 slap and also caught a bullet with his bare hand." The look on Zhang Heihu's face was priceless. Absolute betrayal. You couldn't have mentioned that earlier. Energy was radiating off him in waves. I could practically hear the gears grinding in his head. Catching bullets barehanded? That's Grandmaster level. But he's only 23. A 23-year-old Grandmaster? No way. He decided it had to be impossible and ordered all 3,000 Black Tiger Guards into combat formation. They flipped over tables, shoved guests out of the way, and turned the entire 5-star hotel lobby into a literal battlefield. Zhang Heihu sat there holding a war banner like he was directing a whole military campaign. Inside a hotel, Ruoyu was screaming at me to run. Zhao Tai, the one-handed wonder, was cursing her and swearing revenge on both of us. Zhao Ken was foaming at the mouth yelling, "Kill him! Chop him up!" 3,000 soldiers. Battle formation. War banner. In a hotel lobby. At an engagement party. And me? Just standing there, surrounded, completely unbothered. 3,000 soldiers in battle formation, and me standing there like, okay, let's speed this up. I went straight for the boss. Rocket launched myself through the crowd, plowed through bodies like a human bowling ball, and grabbed Zhang Heihu by the throat before he could even blink. This man was an Earth-rank warrior, and he couldn't move a muscle. "Tell your boys to leave, or you die," I said. Very straightforward. Very reasonable. "The Black Tiger Guards never retreat," he announced, all proud and noble. "You sure about that?" I asked. "Sure," he said. Crack. His throat crumbled like a cracker in my hand. He dropped dead before he even finished being sure. My man really chose, die with honor, and got the express delivery. Zhao Ken looked like his soul literally left his body. Every rich person in the room was backing away so fast they were practically moonwalking. The 3,000 Black Tiger Guards roared with rage and were about to charge, until I put my foot on their dead commander's head and said, "Anyone want to be next?" 3,000 soldiers froze. Then I yelled, "Get out," and blasted my inner energy outward. The front row guys started bleeding from their ears and noses and collapsed. And just like that, 3,000 elite warriors turned into 3,000 panicking chickens, stampeding out of the hotel like it was on fire. Military discipline? Never heard of her. Ruoyu was standing there with her mouth so wide open you could park a car in it. Now, back to business. I asked Zhao Ken one more time. Who ordered you to chase me? Who killed my family? I don't know, still lying. Or maybe he genuinely didn't know. Either way, useless. Remember that bullet I caught earlier? I flicked it with my finger. It shot straight through Zhao Urchin's forehead, in through the front, out through the back. Poetic justice, killed by his own bullet. I didn't even need to touch him. Zhao Tai saw his dad die and completely lost it. Screamed, cried, and then charged at me like a headless chicken. I kicked him once in the chest. Dead. Father and son, matching set. The rest of the Zhao family members were literally puddles on the floor, trembling, waiting for me to come collect them. I gave them a message. You have 1 hour. I'm coming to the Zhao family estate. Your old grandpa better remember who ordered my family killed. If he can't remember, the whole Zhao family dies today. I said, get out, one more time, and these people fled like I'd announced free money outside. Every billionaire and VIP scrambled for the exit. In seconds, the entire 5-star hotel was empty except for me and Ruoyu's family. Ruoyu broke free from her mom and threw herself into my arms, crying. I held her and smiled. So, still want to break off our engagement? And oh, never. I take it back, she sobbed. Her dad Zhou Tianhao asked me what happened during those 5 years, so I gave him the quick version. Chased, nearly died, rescued, trained on a mountain with 99 masters, became absurdly powerful, came back for revenge. The usual. He asked what level warrior I was. I told him I honestly had no idea. I spent 5 years just training and thinking about revenge, never bothered to learn the ranking system. He guessed maybe heaven rank beginner level. He didn't dare guess higher because apparently only the king of Jiangnan's personal bodyguard was high-level heaven rank, and I'm only 23. Then, because apparently we can't have one nice moment. Ruoyu's mom suddenly coughed up blood and collapsed. I grabbed her wrist immediately. Dark energy between the brows, weak pulse. She'd been poisoned. Ruoyu told me the truth. Zhao Tai had forced poison down her mother's throat to blackmail Ruoyu into marrying him. The only antidote. Zhao Tai said only he had it. The same Zhao Tai I'd just kicked to death about 90 seconds ago. Ruoyu realized this at the exact same moment I did. Went white as a ghost, vomited blood, and fainted on the spot. I caught her before she hit the ground. So let me recap my day so far. Crashed an engagement party with a coffin, cut off a guy's hand, slapped a general into the shadow realm, caught a bullet, disassembled a gun with one finger, killed the commander of 3,000 soldiers, scared an entire army into running away, killed 2 people with their own bullet and 1 kick, gave an entire crime family a 1-hour deadline. And now I'm holding my unconscious fiancée while her poisoned mother bleeds on the floor of a trashed 5-star hotel. It's like noon. Apparently, I broke the internet. Well, the Jiangnan version of the internet, which is just gossip anties and rich people group chats. Within minutes, everyone in the city was talking about me. Street vendors, CEOs, janitors, billionaires, all asking the same question. Who the heck is Yi Beichen? The headlines were basically writing themselves. Dead guy returns, kills rich people, scares away army. Honestly, solid resume material. Meanwhile, over at the Zhao family estate, they brought back the bodies of Zhao Ken and Zhao Tai, father and son combo pack, covered in white sheets, laid out in the family hall. The old grandpa, Zhao Laote, just sat there staring at his dead son and grandson with the scariest silence I've ever not heard. No screaming, no crying. Just pure, ice cold. I've been doing this villain thing since before you were born, energy. He started muttering about whether I was a heaven rank warrior or a grandmaster. Mentioned some legendary Dragon Nation war god named Yi Ling Xiao who once scared off 1,000,000 soldiers with a single shout, and then concluded I was interesting. Then he ordered his people to investigate me and arrange a meeting with the king of Jiangnan himself. His eldest son Zhao Qingzhong was secretly thrilled his brother died because, and I cannot make this up, he thought dad coming out of retirement would boost the family's reputation. Your deaths weren't in vain, bro. Real touching family values over there. But anyway, back to me, the main character. I was at the Zhou family villa. Good news first. I cured Ruoyu's mom. Pulled out my acupuncture needles, zapped the poison right out of her. 5 years of medical training on a mountain with 99 psychotic masters? Finally paying off. She woke up, confirmed she was fine, then fell back asleep. Crisis averted. I told Uncle Zhou it was time for me to visit the Zhao estate. You know, the 1-hour deadline I gave them. Punctuality is important. Uncle Zhou grabbed my arm and went full worried dad mode. Take my Audi A8. Drive away through the back roads. Don't tell anyone where you're going. FLE. I could tell he knew something. So I pushed him, and he dropped a bomb on me. The 2 heaven-rank warriors who broke into my house and killed my family 5 years ago, they're currently working as personal bodyguards for the king of Jiangnan. Let that sink in. The most powerful man in the region might be connected to my parents' murder. Uncle Zhou looked like he aged 10 years just telling me this. Ruyu was begging me not to go. They both tried to stop me from leaving. My response: if the king of Jiangnan is involved, then even being the king of Jiangnan won't save him. Then I walked out the front door and vanished before they could even finish saying, wait. So to update the to-do list, visit Zhao family estate, still on schedule. Possibly fight the king of Jiangnan and his entire 100,000 soldier army, newly added. Cure poisoned almost mother-in-law. Done. Checked off. Find out who murdered my family. In progress. It's still the same day, by the way. The Zhao estate was on full lockdown. 500 thugs with axes, entertainment district bosses, the whole circus. They were checking their watches going, heh, that kid was just bluffing. He'd never actually show up. Boom. The coffin came flying through their front gate like a homing missile of death. Right on schedule. 59 minutes and 60 seconds. I am nothing if not punctual. I walked through the gate like I was arriving at a restaurant. 1 hour's up. Got an answer for me? Zhao Qingzhong, the eldest son, the last surviving adult male, stepped up acting all brave because he was on home turf. His entertainment district buddies started trash-talking me. You dare come here? Kneel. Bringing a coffin is a death sentence. Annoying, I said, and kicked a few pebbles off the ground. The pebbles went through their skulls. Yeah, I killed multiple people with gravel. I'm not even trying anymore. 500 axe-wielding thugs charged at me. What followed was basically a human tornado. Bones cracking, bodies flying, grown men screaming. When the dust settled, all 500 were on the ground crying, and I was standing in the middle of a path I'd cleared through them like Moses parting the Red Sea. Except instead of water, it was unconscious gangsters. Your grandpa has 1 minute, I announced. Every minute he doesn't show up, I kill someone. Starting with you. I grabbed Zhao Qingzhong's throat. Snap. Dead. His last words were literally, I should have run. Yes, dude. Yes, you should have. That's when old Grandpa Zhao came stumbling through the gate screaming. Poor timing. He arrived just in time to watch his last son die. Both sons dead. Grandson dead. Family tree terminated. But Grandpa didn't come alone. Oh no. He'd been to see the king of Jiangnan and came back with a care package. 6,000 armored soldiers, 2 Earth-rank peak commanders, 1 guy, 1 woman, and the big prize. A heaven-rank peak warrior. The king's personal bodyguard. Name, Hong. And the second I saw his face, my blood caught fire. This was the man. The one who broke into my house 5 years ago. The one who punched my big brother in the chest. The one my parents died protecting me from. I'd recognize that face in my nightmares, in the afterlife, anywhere. So the king of Jiangnan is connected to my family's murder. Confirmed. The female commander thought I was cute and wondered if killing me would be a waste. Hong stood there all calm and superior. Grandpa Zhao was screaming, kill him. I pointed at the coffin sitting in the middle of the courtyard and gave them the guest list. This coffin is for my parents' killer. Zhao Ken. Zhao Tai. Old Grandpa Zhao. The entire Zhao family. And also, the king of Jiangnan. Everyone lost their minds. Hong attacked first. Top-tier heaven-rank warrior. The king's personal ace. The ultimate trump card of 100,000 soldiers. I punched his arm and it exploded. The entire limb shattered. He went flying. Hit the ground screaming, Grandmaster. He's a martial Grandmaster. Then I stepped on his head and it popped like a watermelon. The 2 peak Earth-rank commanders? I walked up to them, raised both hands, and slapped them simultaneously, one left, one right. Blood erupted from every hole in their faces, and they dropped dead on the spot. Matching kills for a matching pair. 6,000 soldiers watched their 3 bosses die in about 8 seconds. You all have families, I told them. Wanna die? Come at me. Otherwise, GT. Out. 6,000 soldiers threw down their weapons and stampeded out the gate. Armor flying everywhere, helmets bouncing on the ground. Absolute chaos. Military discipline? A beautiful concept, really. Not applicable here. Old Grandpa Zhao was sitting on the ground, pointing at me, going you, like a broken record that forgot the rest of the sentence. I looked down at him. My parents' death. Was the king of Jiangnan involved? Old Grandpa Zhao chose violence against himself. Instead of answering my question, he laughed like a maniac and rammed his own head into the coffin I brought. Splat. Dead. His final power move was making sure all the evidence pointed at the king of Jiangnan, hoping I'd go pick a fight and get myself killed. Even in death, this old man was petty. Respect, honestly. 10 minutes later, I walked out of the Zhao estate. The entire main family line, gone. Blood debt, paid. Meanwhile, apparently my mysterious senior sister, the one living in some fancy estate somewhere, got the news and had a full range of emotions. She went from impressed to amused to, oh wait, he's going where? In about 4 seconds. She jumped into a bulletproof Rolls-Royce and floored it toward the king's mansion, panicking about me causing a little trouble. Little trouble. I love her optimism. Now here's where things got fun. I grabbed the coffin, the same one. Yes, it's been to the engagement party and the Zhao estate. This coffin has more frequent flyer miles than most businessmen. Threw it on my back and started walking through downtown Jiangnan. Picture it. A modern city, skyscrapers everywhere, normal people going about their day. And then here comes me. A 23-year-old dude casually strolling down the sidewalk carrying a blood-stained coffin on his back. People were frozen. Phones were probably out. I was basically a walking viral video. Is he going toward the king's mansion? On his birthday? With a coffin? Yes, and yes. Oh, I forgot to mention, today was the king of Jiangnan's 60th birthday party. The biggest, most important celebration in the entire region. Every billionaire and VIP was lined up at the gate like school children, waiting to present gifts. Some guy brought an $800,000 jade statue. Another brought a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Someone else hauled in a blood coral tree. Very fancy, very expensive, very boring. And then there was me. I walked up to the gate where everyone was announcing their gifts like it was an auction. The announcer was reading names off a list. Wang Fugue, jade statue. Chairman Lin, coral tree. I stepped forward. Yi Beichen. One coffin. The silence that followed could have crushed diamonds. Every single billionaire standing in that line turned to look at me like I'd just set the building on fire. Which, fair, I kind of was about to, metaphorically. A guard commander ordered hundreds of soldiers to surround me. Bad idea. I used the coffin as a weapon. Just started swinging it around like a giant baseball bat, sending armored soldiers flying everywhere. Broken bones, coughing blood, the whole package. The commander tried to stop me, and I kicked him so hard his chest caved in. Then I walked through the front gate, slammed the coffin down on the ground, turned to the terrified guy holding the guest registry, and said, write it down. Yi Beichen. One coffin. His hand was shaking so bad the calligraphy probably looked like a seismograph reading, but he wrote it. The richest man in the county was trembling behind me. Car company CEOs and hotel presidents were pressing themselves against the walls to let me pass. Every VIP in the building was experiencing what I believe medical professionals call extreme bowel-loosening terror. I walked into the king of Jiangnan's palace, hands behind my back, like I was taking a casual tour of a museum. King of Jiangnan. Come out. I have questions. Just a regular Tuesday for me at this point. I walked through the king of Jiangnan's palace like it was a shopping mall. Guard commanders kept popping up to stop me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they kept dying. It was like a video game where the enemies are way underleveled. I was dropping one-liners with every step. Your bodyguards killed my family. Step. Explain yourself. Step. No answer. Then everyone here dies. Step. Very cinematic. Very me. The news finally reached the inner chambers where the real VIPs were hanging out. The king himself was sitting on what I can only describe as a throne. Square jaw, beard, intimidating aura. The whole, I own this entire region, starter pack. He'd literally just heard about me 2 hours ago and was planning to deal with me after his birthday cake. Surprise, buddy, I don't wait. But before the king could even open his mouth, a bunch of rich kids from the four great families of Jinling, Jia, Shi, Wang, and Shui decided they wanted to play hero. These brats controlled the entire regional government and had never been told no in their lives. Who do you think you are? Kneel. You want your 9 generations wiped out. Get lost? I said. One word. They did not get lost. One of them smirked and said, kill me. I dare you. So I plucked a leaf off a tree, flicked it with my finger, and it sliced his throat open. A leaf. I killed a rich kid with landscaping. The other trust fund babies nearly soiled their designer pants. Then their bodyguard showed up, some old guy, heaven rank mid-level warrior. He started lecturing me about rules and respect. And, do you know who you just killed? My masters didn't teach me to be a guard dog for rich people. I replied. He attacked. I punched him once in the chest. His heart stopped, dead before he hit the ground. The king had actually tried to warn them. He knew what happened at the Zhao estate, but these spoiled kids were too cocky to listen. That Jia Ichio kid's face went from, this'll be fun, to, I have made a terrible miscalculation, in about half a second. I stepped on the dead bodyguard and kept walking toward the king. Where's your other bodyguard? The one who killed my family? Bring him out. And then, from inside the king's main hall, an old man slowly walked out. The king actually bowed to this guy, Yang Tianxian. The entire courtyard gasped like someone had announced a celebrity. Yang Tianxuan, the Tai Chi Grandmaster, famous across 5 entire provinces. The Yang family's Tai Chi lineage was legendary, feared everywhere in the southeast. This wasn't just some bodyguard. This was a martial arts legend. All the rich people started whispering. So that's why the king is so confident. He's allied with the Yang family. We're witnessing history. The Jinling rich kids were practically glowing with relief. We're saved. A grandmaster, Yang Tianxian, stood in front of the king, all mystical and imposing, radiating ancient master energy. He looked at me. I looked at him. Everyone held their breath. Get out of my way, I said, or die. To a grandmaster. On the king's birthday. In the king's house. In front of every powerful person in the region. Normal Tuesday energy continues. Yang Tianxian, the legendary Tai Chi Grandmaster, stomped his foot and the stone tiles exploded. Then he teleported in front of me and threw a punch. Very flashy. Very dramatic. I punched back. Everyone watching nearly had a stroke because I blocked a Grandmaster's attack like it was nothing. The king of Jiangnan's face went from, I'm saved, to, oh no, faster than a traffic light. We traded over 30 blows. Old Yang was getting increasingly panicked because, surprise, he couldn't beat me. His whole, I'll finish this in one move, plan was not working out. Okay, playtime's over, I said. Time to go. I stepped forward and hammered my fist down. He tried to block it. His arm snapped like a breadstick. The force kept going, crashed into his skull, and drove him straight into the ground, knees first. He cratered into the floor so hard it left spiderweb cracks spreading outward like a shattered windshield. I said get out or die, I reminded him. You pick door number 2. One more punch to the top of his head. Brain, scrambled. Tai Chi Grandmaster Yang Tianxian, permanently retired. Every single person in that courtyard finally understood something important. I am not beatable. The Jinling rich kids couldn't speak. The king of Jiangnan turned white as printer paper. All that political power, all those armies, all those alliances, absolutely useless against one very angry 23-year-old. I grabbed the king by the throat and lifted him like a grocery bag. The most powerful man in the region, commander of 100,000 soldiers, dangling from my hand like a kitten. Was it you? Did you kill my family? The king sighed. Actually sighed, like he was mildly inconvenienced, and said, I never imagined you'd grow this strong in 5 years. If I could do it again, I'd have killed your family myself. Cool. Cool. Confession received. But then he dropped a bombshell. You're too naive. Yi Beichen. I'm the king of Jiangnan. Your family was just a small-time rich household. Why would I personally care about killing them? Someone ordered me to do it. My blood went cold. Someone who can order the king of Jiangnan around? Who? I demanded, squeezing his neck. Wait. Shit. A woman's voice cut through the chaos, and in walked the most beautiful woman any of these people had ever seen, my 10th senior sister, Wang Rian. Behind her was a whole entourage. Turns out she'd been in Jiangnan for the past year, building up a massive power network that could rival the king himself. Every rich person recognized her instantly. They were all terrified of her. Apparently she's got brains, beauty, strength, and the ruthlessness of a corporate shark on espresso. The billionaires started whispering, "That's his senior sister. No wonder he's so bold. She's from the Wang family, one of Jinling's 4 great families, but the Jinling rich." Kids knew something else. That smirking Jia Ichio mentioned some mysterious him who had his eye on my sister, and that she'd fled to Jiangnan specifically to escape this person. Apparently, that person is so powerful she can't hide even if she leaves the country. Wonderful. More terrifyingly powerful enemies. Just what I needed. "Don't kill him," senior sister pleaded. "He's the king. There'll be serious consequences." "Someone killed my family," I yelled back, eyes red, steam practically shooting from my nostrils. "I don't care if he's the king, the emperor, or God himself." She looked at me with the most heartbroken expression and sighed. Then she did something I absolutely did not expect. She pulled out a gun, pointed it at the king's head, and asked him one last time, "Who ordered you to kill my junior brother's family?" The king laughed. "You're from the Wang family. Go investigate yourself. Kill me if you want. I'll never tell." I was about to crush his throat when bang. Senior sister pulled the trigger. One shot. King of Jiangnan dead. The entire courtyard went completely silent. Smoke drifted from the barrel. The most powerful man in the region was just gone. I stood there completely frozen. "Sister, why did you?" She smiled at me. This beautiful, sad, protective smile, and said, "The king of Jiangnan was killed by me. It has nothing to do with you. If anyone comes looking for answers, I'll handle it." She literally stole my revenge kill to protect me from the consequences. I came here to be the scary one, and my sister outscarried me. The king of Jiangnan hit the floor with his eyes wide open, probably thinking, I did not see that coming on my birthday. The entire mansion erupted. Billionaires stampeded toward the exits like it was Black Friday in reverse. Guard commanders threw down their armor and ran. The king's wives scattered like startled pigeons. One hotel CEO literally slapped himself to make sure he wasn't dreaming. Spoiler, he wasn't. The king's son tried to attack my senior sister. I gave him one look. Just one. He face-planted on the ground and couldn't move. That's it. That's the whole fight. I've reached the level where my eyeballs are weapons. The Jinling rich kids called senior sister a crazy woman and bolted. Within minutes, the entire palace, which had been packed with hundreds of VIPs, was completely empty. Just me, senior sister, and a collection of fresh corpses on what was supposed to be a very festive birthday celebration. "Why did you do that?" I asked her. She just smiled. Her whole plan was actually genius in a heartbreaking way. By killing the king herself, she cut off my only lead. No king means no answers means I can't keep investigating means I stay safe. She was willing to take the murder charge just to stop me from digging deeper. This woman literally committed regicide as a protective measure. "Stop investigating," she begged. "Please." "Absolutely not," I said. "If the king had a boss, I'll find the boss. If the boss has a boss, I'll find that boss. I'll chase this all the way to the capital if I have to." She started stress-stomping her feet like a frustrated kindergarten teacher dealing with a kid who keeps eating glue. Then her phone rang. She glanced at the screen, her face changed, and she told me she had something to deal with and rushed off. Very suspicious. Now here's the part one didn't hear, but apparently happened. She called back the number. It was her dad, Wang Qingfeng, head of the Wang family, one of Jinling's 4 great houses. He was losing his mind. "You killed the king of Jiangnan? Do you know how big this is?" Jinling found out in 5 minutes. Senior sister, ice cold. "Since when does the Wang family fear some regional king?" "Dad. He has a war god backing him." "Even our family can't mess with a war god." Senior sister. "Sounds like a you problem." Dad tried to fix things by suggesting they kill me and pin everything on my corpse. Senior sister went nuclear. "Touch one hair on my junior brother, and I will yandy our family relationship." Apparently, he'd also driven her mother to death at some point, so the family vibes were already at absolute zero. Dad pulled out his last card. Some mysterious, terrifying him, who'd returned from the capital, trained under some legendary master, and had announced he was coming back to marry senior sister whether she liked it or not. The Wang family apparently couldn't refuse this guy, So let me update the situation board. I've killed an entire noble family, a Tai Chi grandmaster, multiple military commanders, and the king of a whole region. My senior sister committed assassination to protect me and is now fighting with her evil dad on the phone. There's a war god who's probably furious. And some mysterious ultra-powerful creep wants to force marry my sister. Day 1 back from the mountain is going great. Senior sister came back to the king's palace where I was rummaging through his office like a burglar with a grudge. Gold, jewels, treasure everywhere, but zero paperwork about who ordered my family killed. Nothing. I even asked the king's son, and he literally died of fright. Just scared himself to death. I didn't even touch him. My reputation is doing the heavy lifting at this point. No leads, I sighed. Senior sister grabbed my hand, sat me down, and switched into full big sister mode. Relax. We'll figure it out together. But first, you stink. You're covered in blood. Then she tried to take my shirt off. What are you doing? I jumped up like I'd been electrocuted. She laughed and poked my chest. Oh please, when you were injured on Kunlun Mountain, I bathed you and took care of you for 3 months straight. Now, you're shy? I was unconscious, that doesn't count. Come on, let sister see if you've gotten more muscular. I sprinted into the bathroom and locked the door. This woman just assassinated the most powerful man in the region, and now she's acting like a flirty babysitter. The emotional whiplash in this family is unreal. While I showered, she was already on the phone booking the fanciest hotel in the city for a welcome home dinner. Priorities. Now for the stuff happening without me knowing. Deep inside some military base in the southeast province, a room full of generals was having a very calm meeting about how the king of Jiangnan just got murdered. These guys were all as powerful as the king himself, so they were treating it like a minor scheduling conflict. They pulled up senior sister's file. Full dossier, name, age, height, weight, school history, business holdings. Apparently she dropped out of college, gone to Kunlun Mountain to train, came back 1 year ago, and had already taken over multiple pharmaceutical companies, hotels, and real estate firms. At 25, while I was on the mountain learning to catch bullets, she was apparently learning to catch entire industries. The generals were worried she might belong to one of the 3 great powers, whatever those are, but someone confirmed she didn't, so they all relaxed. Then someone mentioned, but the king of Jiangnan was the war god's disciple. The room went dead quiet. The war god is apparently beyond grandmaster level, a god-tier fighter, the kind of person even rooms full of generals shut up about. Then, because today wasn't dramatic enough, a fighter jet appeared over the military base. Not one of theirs. This thing had markings from the dragon capital, the nation's capital. It circled the base like a show-off eagle doing victory laps, then landed. Out stepped a tall, good-looking dude with the smuggest smile in military history. Jun Wuhue. Translation of his name, no regrets. Age, young. Attitude, astronomical. This guy was the secret son of the war god himself. His mom was from the powerful Jun family. Fell in love with the war god back when he was a nobody. Family broke them up. She never married anyone else, but secretly had his baby. Named the kid, no regrets, because she never regretted loving the war god. Very romantic. Very soap opera. Everyone knew he was the war god's illegitimate son, but nobody dared say it out loud. He had the Jun family and the war god behind him, which meant he could basically do whatever he wanted anywhere in the country. He strolled up to a dozen 4-star generals and casually said, "Hey uncles, long time no see," like he was at a family barbecue. The war god knows about the king of Jiangnan. He's busy in the capital at some important meeting, so he sent me to handle it. I've got 1 hour before I need to fly to Zhonghai, so let's make this quick. Then he ordered a room full of generals to get him a car. So there's now a cocky, ultra-powerful war god's son heading my way to handle the situation. And I'm in a shower, completely unaware, while my senior sister is probably picking out restaurant menus. This day just keeps giving. I came out of the shower, and senior sister had vanished. I grabbed the clothes she left out, got dressed, feeling fresh and clean for the first time today, and then I heard her voice behind me. Looking handsome, little brother, she was sitting on the couch, with a glass of red wine. She'd been there the whole time, watching me change. For 30 minutes. How long have you been there? Oh, half an hour. You didn't notice me? It's fine. It's not like I haven't seen it all before. I wanted to evaporate. She moved right along like she hadn't just traumatized me. By the way, the king's palace is now your house. I fired everyone, and I'm hiring new staff. No more king of Jiangnan's mansion. It's the Yi family estate now. Just like that, she rebranded an entire royal palace. For me, like changing a restaurant sign. There were already rows of gorgeous maids lined up in perfect formation. These are my personal attendants. They'll serve you for now. If you need more, I'll get more. She'd even matched everything to my Kunlun mountain living habits. This woman is terrifyingly thoughtful. Then she drove me to the Diuan Grand Hotel, 66 floors, the most iconic building in Jiangnan, which, oh by the way, she owns. Red carpet, flowers, the entire hotel staff bowing at 90 degrees screaming, "Welcome MR." Why? If you like this place, it's yours, she said casually. Like she was offering me a sandwich, not a 66-story luxury hotel. Sister, I only know Kung Fu. I can't run a hotel. Then pick something else. I have other businesses. Inside, she prepared a full imperial banquet. I'm talking dozens of long tables covered in lobster, wagyu beef, sturgeon, caviar, bear paw. Basically Noah's Ark, but as a menu. I thought she was throwing a party for 500 people. Nope, just for me. You suffered for 5 years on that mountain. You think I'm going to let you eat instant noodles? I sat down and absolutely demolished that food. 5 years of mountain rations had me eating like a starving wolf. Senior sister just sat there, chin in her hands, watching me stuff my face with the most adoring expression. Sister, eat something. Watching you eat is enough for me. I swear this woman treats me like a golden retriever puppy. Then, knock knock knock, someone interrupted dinner. Senior sister's eye twitched. She had specifically ordered no disturbances. The hotel manager rushed in, panicking. Boss. Military vehicles outside. Someone named Jun Wuhue wants to see you. He brought people. One of them slapped our guard, and we don't know if he's alive or dead. Senior sister's face went cold. She told me it was nothing, smiled, and walked out. I did not stay put. I put down my chopsticks, wiped my mouth, and followed her. I know nothing. That's actually something when I hear one. Downstairs, there he was, Jun Wuhue, Mr. War God's secret son himself, standing in my senior sister's hotel lobby, hands behind his back, smiling like he owned the place. Rian, long time no see, what do you want? Sister's voice could have frozen lava. Simple. 2 things. First, I'm arresting you. Second, I'm taking Yi Beichun. Absolutely not. He pulled out an official arrest warrant with the war god's personal signature and military seal. Then he snapped his fingers and called out his bodyguards. Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, handle it. 2 people stepped forward, a middle-aged man and a young woman. The war god's 2 personal Dharma protectors, both Grandmaster-level warriors. Senior sister looked at them like they were insects. This is my hotel. My territory. You think 2 little Grandmasters can act tough here? Even if the war god came personally, I wouldn't give him face. Then she called out. Ghost Shadow, Cold Charm. Throw them out. 2 shadows materialized out of thin air next to her, like actual ghosts just appearing from nowhere. And that's when my jaw dropped, because I recognized them. Those 2 were servants of Master 96 back on Kunlun Mountain. They'd actually come down the mountain and were working for senior sister. So she's got her own Grandmaster-level bodyguards. This dinner party just turned into a martial arts tournament in the lobby of a luxury hotel. And my food is getting cold upstairs. Ghost Shadow and Cold Charm were incredible. Azure Dragon threw a punch straight through Ghost Shadow's body. Like, threw it, hit nothing but air, and then Ghost Shadow just casually appeared behind him and punched him in the chest. The guy coughed up blood and stumbled back 8 steps. His face went from, I'm the war god's elite, to, I have made a career-ending mistake, real fast. Cold Charm was even more brutal. She had Vermilion Bird backing up like a car in reverse, just absolutely dominating her. Vermilion Bird tried the recruitment pitch. You're so strong. Join the military. We'll make you a general. Cold Charm said, not interested. Ghost Shadow said, get out. 2 words total between them. Efficient. Azure Dragon and Vermilion Bird, the war god's personal Grandmaster bodyguards, basically limped out of the hotel with their tails between their legs. Jun Wuhue threw out some tough guy parting words and scrambled after them. The whole, arrest my senior sister, plan lasted about 3 minutes. Senior sister, 1. War God's entire entourage. 0. I walked out grinning. Sister, that was amazing. Her Ice Queen Death face instantly melted into the warmest smile, and she pulled out a handkerchief to wipe food grease off my mouth. Look at you, you messy eater. I literally went from watching a Grandmaster-level battle to getting my face clean like a toddler in the span of 30 seconds. She sighed and said she wished she had MY fighting ability so she wouldn't need bodyguards. Then she got curious. Little brother, what level are you at exactly? I dunno. Grandmaster level. I genuinely have no idea. I've never fought one. Okay, those two just now. Azure Dragon and Vermilion Bird. If you went all out, how many moves to beat them? I thought about it. Really carefully considered it. Ran the calculations. They're both pretty average. If I went all out, probably one punch each. Senior sister almost fell over. What? Those are top-tier military grandmasters. A lieutenant general and a major general. You could one-punch them? Yeah. She stared at me for a long, long moment. Her eyes went through surprise, shock, disbelief, and finally landed on the most affectionate look imaginable before she said, "You absolute freak." Coming from the woman who just casually faced down 2 grandmasters and the war gods. Son while sipping wine earlier. That's honestly the highest compliment I've ever received. Then her phone rang. Her face changed, went through about 6 different expressions in 2 seconds, and she said, "Something at home. I need to go back immediately." Senior sister had to rush back to Jinling for some family drama, so we said our goodbyes. She told her hotel staff that whenever I show up to eat, it's free. Unlimited lobster and caviar on the house. I love having a rich sister. I headed straight to the Zhou family villa. Uncle Zhou, Aunt Li, and Ryu were all freaking out. Apparently the whole city already knew the king of Jiangnan was dead, and some terrifying woman was behind it. I casually explained that the terrifying woman was my senior sister. They looked at me like I'd just told them my dog could fly. I asked Uncle Zhou if he knew anything else about my parents' murder. He didn't have much, but he dropped one interesting nugget. Around the time my family was killed, the king of Jiangnan was meeting a lot with families from Jinling. So the trail leads to Jinling. Mental note, filed. Then Ryu got a phone call. Her college classmates were in town and wanted to take her to dinner. She tried to refuse because she wanted to stay with me, but I could tell she actually wanted to go. So I said the magic words, "I'll come with you. I am your fiancé, right?" Her face lit up like a Christmas tree. She sprinted to her room, changed clothes, did her makeup, came back looking absolutely stunning. Uncle Zhou tossed me the Audi A8 keys with a knowing smile, and off we went. Now, the stuff I didn't know about. The second we drove away, Aunt Li dropped her nice lady act and went full villain mode. She started complaining to Uncle Zhou, "Is Beichin really right for our daughter? He kills people. His sister killed the king. We're going to get dragged into this. Honestly, it would have been better if he never came back. Ruoyu marrying Zhao Tai wouldn't have been that bad." Uncle Zhou was not having it. The man who'd been all gentle grandpa energy 5 minutes ago almost lost his mind. "Zhao Tai poisoned you, and you're defending him." Then Aunt Li said something that made things very interesting. "Apparently, I'm not actually my father's biological son." She called me a picked-up stray and a wild seed. Big brother Beifeng was the real son. I was adopted. Uncle Zhou slapped her across the face. First time in their entire marriage. He told her if she ever mentioned my background again, he wouldn't just slap her, he'd kill her. The man was dead serious. Whatever secret my birth holds, Uncle Zhou is willing to commit domestic violence to keep it buried. That's concerning and also kind of sweet. I genuinely don't know how to feel about this. Meanwhile, in the Dragon capital, the nation's actual capital, things were getting juicy. The war god Lingfeng got a phone call about Jun Wuhui's failure. He was sitting with some mysterious refined man in a fancy estate, discussing me like I was a homework problem. Turns out, years ago the war god personally chased someone called the Old Ghost of Sichuan into Kunlun Mountain, the same mountain where I trained. The war god thought this old ghost was dead, but now that senior sister's bodyguards are clearly the old ghost students, everyone's connecting the dots. The old ghost is on Kunlun Mountain. Senior sister trained there, and oh yeah, so did I. The mysterious refined man figured out I must be a student of those 99 masters on the mountain. His exact words, "We should have killed him 5 years ago. Now he's a grandmaster and it's going to be harder." Then he asked the war god, "Help me one more time." And here's the kicker. This man seems to have a personal reason to want me dead. Something about, if SHE finds out, she won't forgive me. He's scared of some woman finding out about what he did to my family. The war god stood up and walked out. "I'll help you one last time. So let me update the scoreboard. I'm driving my fiancée to a college reunion in a borrowed Audi, completely unaware that my adoptive mother thinks I'm a stray dog. My birth is apparently a massive secret, and the most powerful warrior in the entire nation just agreed to come kill me personally. But hey, free dinner tonight." We pulled up to a car dealership where Ryu's college friends were waiting. A whole squad of fashionable pretty boys and girls looking like they just walked off a magazine cover. Immediately, the dude started hyping up some guy named Lin Xiao, who'd apparently been simping for Ryu since college. "Lin Xiao chased you for years. He bought you a red BMW as a birthday gift. Why won't you date him?" Lin Xiao himself was standing there all sunshine and smiles. Mr. Perfect Rich Boy energy on full blast. Then I stepped out of the driver's seat. "Who's this?" they asked, clearly assuming I was the chauffeur. "Hi, I'm Ryu's boyfriend. Also her fiancé." Lin Xiao's smile froze so hard I think I heard it crack. Ryu confirmed it with the sweetest grin. "Yep. Arranged since childhood." Lin Xiao tried to recover by offering me a handshake. I looked at his hand like it was a dead fish. "Last name's Yi. Put away whatever little thoughts you're having." Then, because I am a petty king, I called over a dealership employee. "What's the most expensive car you have?" "Porsche 918. About 10 million after taxes. I'll take one." For my fiancé, I whipped out the bank card my master gave me. The weird one with dragons, lions, tigers, eagles, and bears on it, and swiped. Ding! Union Pay received. 10 million.00 yuan. The announcement blasted through the entire dealership. Every customer and salesperson turned to stare. The poor sales kid who'd been working there less than a month looked like he was about to ascend to heaven. The manager came sprinting out personally. Now here's the part one didn't know. Apparently that card triggered a global financial earthquake. Wall Street, Russia's stock exchange, Eagle Nation's capital towers, Dragon Nation's trade center, all simultaneously received an alert. The card has been used. He's back. Every financial giant on the planet started scrambling. Where? Dragon Nation. Someone spent 10 million yuan. 10 million? That's all. Find out if it's the Godfather. I just wanted to buy my girl a car. I accidentally shook the world economy. Oops. Lin Zhao's face was priceless. He tried to save his dignity by going on this long speech about how money isn't everything. It's about power and connections and heritage. The four great families of Jinling control everything. My Lin family is a noble clan. Even billionaires like Jack Ma had to eat dinner at the door at our family banquets. The TikTok CEO needs a 3-month appointment just to meet one clan leader. Very impressive monologue, buddy. Really recovered well from getting financially humiliated in front of your crush. His friends were all nodding along like trained parrots. So true. Money means nothing. Status is everything. Then one of the girls casually mentioned, "Hey, did you guys hear? That Zhao noble family in Jiangnan got completely wiped out today." Everyone. What? Also apparently the king of Jiangnan died. Some woman killed him. The king is dead? Lin Xiao tried to play it cool. "Yeah, I actually had dinner with the king once back in Zhonghai. Shame he's gone. Power struggles, am I right?" Meanwhile, Ryu was sneaking glances at me, probably thinking, if these people knew my fiancé personally destroyed the Zhao family and caused the king's death, all on his first day back, their little speech about power and connections would hit a little different. The group decided we should head to the party venue, some exclusive garden estate that supposedly only accepts VIPs with the right status, not just money. Lin Xiao made sure to mention that even billionaires can't get in, while giving me a pointed look. "Buddy, I literally caught a bullet with my bare hand this morning. Your garden club doesn't scare me." We arrived at the Jinyuan International Garden Estate, a fancy Suzhou-style garden where even the rocks cost more than a house. As we pulled up, the owner herself was there, Boss Lin, power suit, designer, everything, total boss lady energy. Lin Xiao started schmoozing. "Auntie Lin, remember me? Your bestie's son?" She offered everyone a 20% discount. Very generous. Then her eyes swept across our group, landed on me, and she went completely rigid, like she'd seen a ghost. Or rather, like she'd seen the guy who caused the king of Jiangnan's death earlier today. She immediately upgraded us from 20% off to completely free. Everything. The whole place. Lin Zhao's jaw dropped. His VIP connections got him a discount. My mere presence got everyone a free pass. The other kids looked back at me trying to figure out what just happened. I just stood there being casual and terrifying without trying. We were about to walk in when black-suited bodyguards blocked the entrance. Even Boss Lin got stopped at her own estate. Why? Because royalty was leaving. Out came an old man in a wheelchair, legs covered with a tiger skin blanket, pushed by a gorgeous girl in a qipao. Han Jinlong, patriarch of the Han family, Zhonghai's #1 clan, and his granddaughter, Han Yu. Everyone went silent. Lin Xiao whispered the identification like a nature documentary narrator. That's the Han family. People were practically bowing with their eyeballs. Is this Han family really that powerful? I asked Ryu. They can arm wrestle the 4 great families of Jinling, she whispered. Oh, cool. Now here's where I did a thing. See, I've got this medical training from 99 Masters, and my eyes don't just see people, they see symptoms. And this old man was basically a walking medical emergency that nobody had noticed. If you keep doing what you're doing, I said out loud, your condition won't just stay bad, it'll kill you. Dead. Silence. Every single person looked at me like I'd just slapped a king. Which, to be fair, I literally did earlier today, but they didn't know that. Lin Xiao was internally celebrating. This idiot just cursed the most powerful old man in Zhonghai. He's dead. Jesus himself can't save him now. Han Yu went full Ice Queen. Kneel. Apologize to my grandfather. Now, her aura was so intense that Lin Xiao and the others stumbled backward like they'd been shoved. Ryu grabbed onto my arm and hid behind me. But the old man? He was interested. Let him speak. So I laid it all out. Your legs were broken before. The tendons are damaged. Every night at 3 a.m., you get 15 minutes of extreme pain. Every winter is agony. But you haven't told anyone. You've just been toughing it out for years. And right now, you're covering your legs with tiger skin in June, trapping heat. And within 2 months your legs will lose all feeling permanently. Nailed it. Every single detail. I could see it in his eyes. He knew I was right, even though he played it cool. Then I added, stop eating ginseng. It's making everything worse. When the pain hits, use silver needles. Yongquan point at 1.3 inches, Kunlun point at 2 inches, Feiyang point at ½ inch. Han Yu scoffed. My grandfather has the best doctors in the country. You think your little trick works? The old man just gave me one long, deep look, then had his granddaughter wheel him to his car and left without another word. He didn't believe me, but he also did not believe me. I planted the seed. The second they left, Lin Xiao got in my face, pointing his finger at my nose. Do you know you almost got us all killed? I slapped him to the ground. One open palm. He ate dirt. Don't point at me. That's your one freebie because you're Ryu's classmate. He sat there on the ground, holding his face, absolutely fuming but too scared to do anything about it. Then my phone buzzed. One message. My blood went cold. Come to Jinling's Longhu estate within 3 hours. Or Wang Ruyan dies. Someone had my senior sister. Senior sister was in danger. I called her phone, not in service area. That's never good. I didn't even say goodbye to anyone. Just sprinted to the Audi, floored it, and tore off toward Jinling. Behind me, Lin Xiao was yelling something about, we're not done. Buddy, I literally forgot you existed before you finished that sentence. Now, back at the airport, something very satisfying was happening without me. Old man Han and his granddaughter Han Yu were on their private jet, and Han Yu was going off about me. He's just an attention seeker. He saw we're the Han family and wanted to impress you. I've seen a million guys like him. One word from you, and he wouldn't have to work for 30 years. Grandpa Han tried to tell her I was different. That my calmness wasn't an act, that everyone else in that garden turned into a bowing robot when they found out who he was. But I didn't even flinch. She wasn't buying it. Then she pulled out a piece of ginseng, made his usual tea, and handed it to him. You know, the exact thing I told them to stop doing. Grandpa Han hesitated for a second. What if that kid was right? But then thought, nah, this tea was prescribed by the legendary Ling Nin divine doctor. Some random 23-year-old can't know better than that. He drank it. 1 second of warmth. Then his face twisted. He grabbed his stomach. Sweat exploded from his forehead. and he curled up into a ball of agony on the couch. The tea. There's a problem, he screamed. Han Yu panicked. Impossible. This is premium ginseng from Changbai Mountain. Our military escort personally collected it. Their onboard doctor, Song Haichong, top student of the Lingnan Divine Doctor himself, rushed over, tried everything. Painkillers? Nothing. Acupuncture? Nothing. 30 years of medical experience? Useless. I've never seen this before, the doctor admitted, sweating bullets. Then Grandpa Han, through gritted teeth. Try. Silver needles. Yongquan point, 1.3 inches. Kunlun point, 2 inches. Feiyang point, ½ inch. Han Yu's eyes went wide. That's what that random guy said. The doctor was confused, but Grandpa insisted. Third needle went in, and, boom, pain vanished instantly. But then, and this is the part that made everyone lose their minds, Grandpa Han's legs moved. He stood up, out of the wheelchair. The man had been paralyzed for 5 or 6 years, and 3 needles following MY instructions got him on his feet. The doctor was standing there like, since when am I this good? Not realizing it wasn't his skill, it was my prescription. Grandpa Han started laughing like a madman and immediately ordered Han Yu. Go back. Find that young man. I don't care what it costs. Bring him to me. Han Yu, the same girl who'd called me an attention-seeking nobody 5 minutes ago, nodded frantically and rushed off. Karma speedrun, complete. But I was already long gone, racing to Jinling at absolutely illegal speeds. 3-hour drive? Did it in 2. Didn't even need GPS. Just asked around and found Dragon Lake Estate immediately. The estate was on an island in the middle of a lake. No boats available. Normal people would be stuck. I am not normal people. I picked up a tree branch, stepped on it, channeled my inner energy, and surfed across the lake like a human jet ski. Behind me, a wall of white spray shot up dozens of meters high. Some fishermen were nearby packing up for the day. One of them, old Zhang, just stopped, pointed at me, and whispered. And an immortal, his buddy turned around, saw me flying across the water on a stick, and his eyeballs nearly evacuated his skull. I hit the island, found the estate entrance, dozens of security cameras tracking me, and I screamed loud enough for the entire island to hear. I'm here. Where's my sister? Inside the estate, the guy watching me on security cameras was having a meltdown. I gave him 3 hours. How is he here already? Wait, how did he get on the island? They pulled up the lake footage and the entire monitoring room went silent. Because there I was, surfing across a lake on a twig at faster than speedboat velocity. Just a casual Wednesday commute. The gates opened. Spotlights blasted me from every angle like I was performing at a concert. Armed men everywhere, hundreds of them, guns loaded, the whole action movie setup. And then the boss stepped out. My blood went arctic. Hongwu. I recognized him instantly. This was the second killer, one of the 2 men who broke into my house 5 years ago and murdered my family. I could recognize this man if he was Ashes. He started monologuing. They always monologue. 5 years and you're already this strong. You destroyed the Zhao family. Killed the king. Impressive. But did you know someone put a 10 billion bounty on your head? For reference, a normal Grandmaster assassination only costs 1 billion. You're worth 10. Congratulations on being the most expensive target in the country. Thanks, I'm flattered. Really, where's my trophy? Where's my sister? I asked. He pointed at a cup on the table. Drink that poison, and I'll tell you. So I walked over and chugged it. Didn't hesitate. Didn't sniff it. Didn't ask questions. Just, gulp, done. Hong Wu's eye twitched. You're not even going to ask what that was? Poison. Obviously, smart. But also incredibly stupid. He was grinning now. Wang Ruyan was never here. I just hired a hacker to kill her phone signal, so you couldn't reach her. And you fell for it because you panicked. Okay, fair. He got me. Senior sister was fine the whole time. I literally drank poison for nothing. But then he got cocky. That was mandala toxin. No antidote. It dissolves your internal energy. 5 years of training, wasted. Now I'll kill you and collect my 10 billion. I let him finish his victory speech. Very polite of me. Fun fact, I said. One of my 99 masters is the Miao region poison king. The guy who single-handedly poisoned 100,000 people. Your little mandala drink? I neutralized it the second it touched my tongue. Hong Wu's face went through the 5 stages of grief in about 2 seconds. The Miao Poison King? That's your master? Master number 95, to be specific. He screamed, "Kill him!" and hundreds of guns opened fire simultaneously. The entire hall turned into a fireworks factory, bullets everywhere, muzzle flashes lighting up the room like a disco from hell. I ducked, slid, and moved through that bullet storm like I was doing choreography. I was literally faster than the bullets. I sweep-kicked gunmen, plowed through their ranks, used their own chaos against them. They were shooting each other in the crossfire, destroying millions of dollars worth of interior decorating, and I was weaving through it all like a greased eel at a water park. 5 minutes. That's all it took. Every single one of those hundreds of armed men was on the floor. The million-dollar hall looked like a war zone. Bullet holes in everything. Chandeliers destroyed. Furniture obliterated. The last dozen guards were shaking so hard they couldn't hold their guns straight. "I only want Hong Wu," I said, walking toward them. "Monster. He's a monster." They threw down their weapons and sprinted out of the building. Hong Wu tried to run. Credit to him. As a heaven-rank warrior, he was fast. For about 3 steps. Then I appeared in front of him and sweep-kicked both his legs. Crack. Both legs snapped, bending at angles that legs should never bend. He dropped like a broken puppet, screaming. I stood over him. "Who ordered my parents killed 5 years ago? Who put the 10 billion bounty on me today?" Start talking. I was mid-interrogation when some sickly-looking dude walked in with his entourage of rich kids. This guy looked like he hadn't seen sunlight since birth. Pale face, dark circles, long hair, walking like a strong breeze would knock him over. But his attitude was operating at maximum arrogance. "Release him. Who do you think you are, causing trouble at Dragon Lake Estate?" This was Jia Chengxiu, eldest grandson of the Jia family, the #1 of Jinling's 4 great families. Apparently, he's a useless trust fund baby, but his mommy is the daughter of some big shot in the Dragon capital, so he can literally commit crimes and nobody touches him. Hong Wu grabbed onto this kid like a drowning man hugging a pool noodle. "Young Master Jia, save me." I looked at this walking corpse of a rich boy and said, "Who are you? Get lost. This doesn't involve you." His face darkened. All his little rich friends gasped. Apparently nobody had ever spoken to Jia Chengxiu like this before. I said, "Get lost. Break his limbs and throw him in the lake to feed the fish," Jia Chengxiu ordered, cool as ice. His personal bodyguard, an old guy who moved like a cheetah, launched forward and appeared right in front of me in the blink of an eye. He didn't attack, just stood there smirking. "Too fast for you? Scared? Martial Grandmaster?" I noted. "Oh, you've got some knowledge." "Now," young Master Jia said. He never finished that sentence. I grabbed his throat, lifted him off the ground like a baby chicken, and crushed his neck. 3 seconds. Start to finish. A genuine martial grandmaster. The kind of fighter who can catch sniper bullets with his bare hands. Killed like he was made of paper. Every single rich kid in the room stopped breathing. Some stumbled backward so fast they almost tripped over each other. This bodyguard had been personally assigned by Jia Chengxiu's powerful mother. Top-tier grandmaster. Dead in 3 seconds. But Jia Chengxiu himself? His eye twitched once, and then he was calm again. He had the nerve to actually identify me. Yi Beichen, smart kid. I'll give him that. He'd heard about the Zhao family and the king of Jiangnan and put 2 and 2 together. Nobody else this young could casually murder a grandmaster. His friends were practically climbing over each other to get away from me. But Jia Chengxiu? He started laughing. Actually laughing. "Do you know who you're talking to? You think I'm some trash like the Zhao family? You killed my bodyguard and told me to get lost? I could destroy you with 1 phone call. You talk too much," I said. I kicked a bullet off the floor. It went through his forehead. The laughter stopped real quick. He collapsed with the most confused expression I've ever seen on a dead person, like his brain literally could not compute that someone had dared to kill him. His eyes were frozen wide open, practically screaming. Does he not know who my grandpa is? No. And I don't care. His entourage went absolutely feral, screaming, crying, stampeding out the door. He's dead. Jia Chengxiu is dead. Apparently killing this guy means Jinling is about to change skies, whatever that means. I'll deal with it. I turned back to Hong Wu, who was now shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. The man who murdered my family was lying, on the ground with 2 broken legs, having just watched me kill a grandmaster in 3 seconds and the most protected rich kid in Jinling with a flicked bullet. "I'm not asking again," I said calmly. I stepped on his arm. Crunch. It exploded. Okay. I'll talk, he screamed. I don't know who ordered your parents killed, but the king of Jiangnan was the war god Ling Feng's disciple. The war god probably knows. The war god Ling Feng. The same guy whose secret son Jun Wuhui tried to arrest my senior sister today. The same war god whose personal bodyguards got beaten by senior sister's shadows. So the trail leads to the war god. Body count today: one entire noble family, one king, one Tai Chi grandmaster, multiple military commanders, several hundred armed guards, one grandmaster bodyguard, and the heir to Jinling's most powerful family. And there's apparently a 10 billion yuan bounty on my head. For context, a normal grandmaster assassination only costs 1 billion. I'm worth 10. I'd be flattered if I wasn't so busy. So I'm standing over Hongwu thinking, time to visit the war god, when he dropped another bombshell. Someone put a 10 billion yuan bounty on my head through something called the Heavenly Kill Organization. The what now? I asked. Hongwu looked at me like I'd just asked what the sun was. You don't know about the Heavenly Kill Organization? You're a grandmaster. Every grandmaster knows about them. Look, I spent 5 years on a mountain learning 47 different ways to kill a man with my pinky. Nobody gave me the assassin newsletter subscription, okay? He explained. It's basically the Uber of murder. There's a whole forum, like Reddit, but for contract killings. Anyone can post a bounty, anyone can accept. 3 tiers: human kill order, earth kill order, and heaven kill order. Mine was a heaven kill order, the premium package. He showed me his phone. I scrolled through. Some random billionaire. 3 billion bounty. The king of Jiangdong. 5 billion. Me? 10 billion. I'm literally the most expensive assassination target on the entire platform. I've never been so simultaneously terrified and honored. There was even my high school photo attached. I look like a baby. Very unflattering. The bad news: every professional killer in the entire country could see this bounty, including other grandmasters. And 10 billion yuan is the kind of money that makes even honorable people consider doing dishonorable things. So you don't actually know who wants me dead? I confirmed. No, Hongwu admitted. And you don't know who ordered the king to kill my family? No? Then what exactly is your purpose in being alive? I stepped on his head. Pop. Second family killer, eliminated. 2 leads remained. The war god Ling Feng. And the Heavenly Kill Organization. Not much, but it's something. My phone rang. Senior sister, panicking. Are you okay? My phone died and I saw your missed calls. I'm fine. I'm at Dragon Lake Estate. Hongwu tricked me into coming here by pretending he had you. So I killed him. Oh, and some guy named Jia Qingshu got in my way. So I killed him too. You killed Jia Qingshu? Is that bad? She paused, then laughed. Nah, he's just a Jia Qingshu. Whatever. Stay there. I'm coming to get you. 15 minutes later, a helicopter landed on the lawn. Senior sister jumped out, saw me drenched in blood, and her first concern was, did you get hurt? It's all other people's blood. Look at you, all dirty again. Come on, sister's taking you home for a bath. This woman watched me slaughter an entire estate, and her reaction is, you need a shower. I love her priorities. On the helicopter, I showed her the Heavenly Kill forum on Hongwu's phone. Her face went dark when she saw the 10 billion bounty. Then, tick, tick, tick. What's that sound? I asked. Senior sister's face went white. She ripped open the seat cushion and there it was, a bomb. 10 seconds on the clock. This woman didn't even blink. She grabbed 2 parachutes, threw one at me, kicked open the helicopter door, and screamed, "Jump!" We launched ourselves out. 3 seconds later, boom, the helicopter turned into a fireball behind us. The shockwave hit us midair and sent us tumbling. The Heavenly Kill Organization is already making moves, Senior Sister growled, while floating under her parachute, looking like an angry angel of vengeance. Then I saw it, a flash of white light from the ground below. Snipers, I yelled. 2 shots. 1 bullet for me, 1 for Senior Sister. We were dangling from parachutes in the open sky, literally the easiest targets imaginable. Floating human bullseyes. I caught my bullet. Obviously, that's just Tuesday at this point. But Senior Sister was 10 meters away, too far for me to reach. The bullet was heading straight for her. Sister, and then something happened that completely shocked me. Senior Sister caught the sniper bullet. Just snatched it out of the air like picking a grape. Wait, you're a grandmaster too? I yelled across the sky. She gave me the most smug smile imaginable. What? Only you're allowed to be one. I had been out-cooled by my own sister. While floating under parachutes, after a helicopter explosion. This family dynamic is insane. Down below, the two snipers were having simultaneous existential crises. They'd signed up to kill one grandmaster for 10 billion yuan and accidentally found two. Both of them ditched their rifles and bolted in opposite directions. Classic, split up so at least one of us survives strategy. I unclipped my parachute at 100 meters up, which, for normal humans, is basically suicide. Water at that height is concrete. But I blasted my internal energy right before hitting the surface, landed on the water like a feather, and took off running across the lake after sniper number one. Senior sister watched from above, mumbling something about my power level being terrifying. I'll take the compliment. The sniper, codename Scorpion, was fast. Professional assassin, top-tier escape artist. His plan was smart. Dump his clothes, blend into a crowd, become invisible. He spotted a night market ahead and grinned. No way he finds me in there. He ditched his jacket and disappeared into the crowd. I arrived at the spot. Empty jacket on the ground. Night market buzzing ahead, hundreds of people. You think you can hide from me? I smiled. Hands behind my back, I strolled into the night market looking like the most casual college student on earth. Now, while I was hunting an assassin through a food court, something completely unexpected happened. Two gorgeous girls were sitting in the corner eating stinky tofu. Short shorts, long legs, turning every guy's head within a 50-meter radius. One of them, Xiaoruoxue, kept rejecting guys who came asking for her number. I have a boyfriend. Her friend Sun Qian was losing her mind. You don't have a boyfriend. You've been single for 23 years. All those hot guys in college chased you, and you said no to all of them. A talent scout wanted you for a girl group. What is wrong with you? Apparently Xiaoruoxue had been holding out for some high school classmate whose family got murdered 5 years ago. Me. She was waiting for me. Her friend started saying maybe I was probably dead, and Xiaoruoxue went full ice mode. Don't say that. Then she spotted my back in the crowd. Her heart apparently went into cardiac arrhythmia mode. She threw her stinky tofu in a garbage can. That's how you know it's serious. Nobody wastes stinky tofu. And started chasing after me. I sensed someone following me and was about to spin around and snap their neck. Assassin hunting mode was still active when I turned and saw a very red-faced, very flustered, very beautiful girl. Yi Beichen, it's really you. Xiaoruoxue, my high school desk mate. She was standing there looking like she'd forgotten how arms and legs worked, face the color of a tomato, completely unable to form normal sentences. Then her friend came sprinting up behind her, gasping for air, chest heaving, completely out of breath. Why did you run? I was apologizing. Maybe your guy isn't dead. His body was never found. Maybe he's totally fine. She said all this right in front of me. Xiaoruoxue looked like she wanted the earth to swallow her whole. She started stomping on her friend's foot. Shut up. What do you mean the person I've been thinking about? Sun Qian connected the dots in about 3 seconds, looked at me, looked at Xiaoruoxue's crimson face, and gasped. OH. You're the guy our Ruoxue has been pining over. Xiaoruoxue was ready to commit a murder of her own right there in the night market. So to recap, I'm in a night market hunting a professional assassin. There's a 10 billion yuan bounty on my head. Killers from an entire national murder network are converging on my location, and I just accidentally ran into a girl who's apparently been single for 5 years waiting for my possibly dead self to come back. My love life has the worst timing. Xiaoruoxue was turning into a tomato in front of me while pinching her friend's waist for exposing her feelings. Sun Qian was screaming, "Murder! Help!" while being pinched, and I was standing there trying to process the fact that my high school desk mate apparently waited for me for 5 years. She changed her college application to follow me to Zhonghai University. Waited from freshman year to graduation. Never dated anyone. Never even exchanged contact info with another guy. Turned down a girl group debut. All because of me. And I didn't show up. Because I was on a mountain learning to kill people with pebbles. She asked where I'd been. I gave her the short version. Family stuff. She immediately apologized for bringing it up, then went into full caretaker mode at light speed. You should go back to school. You can take social exams. Want me to show you around? I'll pay for food. Do you have a place to sleep tonight? You can have my room. Sun Qian and I will share. She went from Ice Queen to Chirping Bird in 3 seconds flat. Sun Qian was standing behind us in complete shock. Apparently Xia Ruoxue has never been this talkative with any human being, let alone a male one. Other guys couldn't even get her phone number, and here she was offering me her bed. I told her I was here looking for someone. Her face went white. You? Met someone? Here? At the night market? Where couples go? Sun Qian went ballistic. Are you kidding me? Ruoxue waited 4 years in college without dating anyone. You disappeared for 5 years without a single message. And now you have a girlfriend? What kind of man are you? I don't have a girlfriend. I'm literally looking for a person. Oh. Sun Qian deflated instantly. Sorry. Got excited. Carry on. She shuffled away to die of embarrassment alone. Ruoxue's smile came right back. No girlfriend equals green light. Now, the actual reason I was here. Somewhere in this night market, a professional assassin codenamed Scorpion was hiding in the crowd, pretending to be a regular person. I could feel him nearby, but couldn't pinpoint exactly where. He couldn't leave either. The second he separated from the crowd, I'd sense him instantly. So we were both stuck in this night market. Him hiding, me hunting. Ruoxue had no idea about any of this. She was happily giving me a food tour, telling me about her college life, chattering nonstop. Sun Qian was walking behind us going, "Since when is Ruoxue a chatterbox?" I was listening to Ruoxue with one ear and scanning the crowd with my senses. Multitasking, romance, and assassination. Then I locked onto him. A young guy sitting in a noodle shop, eating a bowl of noodles, scrolling his phone. Normal looking. Perfect disguise. But I saw him. I just stood there, staring at him, not moving. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. Just staring. Cold sweat started pouring down his face. Did he find me? Impossible. My disguise is perfect. I look like a college student. Ruoxue thought I was hungry. Oh, this noodle place is great. I come here all the time. Let me buy you a bowl. The spring noodles with egg are the best. She ordered 3 bowls and sat down at a table 3 meters from the assassin. The noodle shop Annie was like, "Ruoxue, you brought a boyfriend? He's handsome. He's just a classmate." "Andy," Ruoxue blushed, sneaking peeks at me. Meanwhile, 3 meters away, a trained killer was having a full psychological breakdown over his noodles. Then Scorpion snapped. He realized I was playing mind games and lost it completely. "You think you can scare me?" He launched off the wall, grabbed a knife, and in one motion had the blade pressed against Ruoxue's throat. "Leave now, or I kill the girl." So let me take stock. I'm in a noodle shop. My high school crush who waited 5 years for me is being held hostage by an assassin I was hunting. The noodle auntie probably just witnessed the worst date in human history. And my spring noodles with egg are getting cold. Scorpion was holding a knife to Ruoxue's throat, screaming at me to leave. Everyone in the noodle shop scattered like cockroaches, students running, girls crying, someone calling the cops. Sun Qian was frozen solid, white as a sheet. Then Scorpion lightly dragged the blade across Ruoxue's neck. Just the skin, but blood started flowing and it was terrifying. And that's when Xia Ruoxue, with a knife at her throat, decided this was the perfect moment to confess her feelings. "Why, Beichen, I like you." "I'm sorry, what?" "I've liked you since high school. I don't know what's going on or who this guy is. I just like you. Don't worry about me. Just run. This girl is about to die, and she's doing a love confession and telling me to escape. The priorities on this woman." Then she bit Scorpion's wrist. Just chomped down like a chihuahua with a death wish. He screamed and went, "Crazy woman, I'll kill you," and swung the knife at her throat for real this time. I grabbed a chopstick off the table and threw it. Pierced clean through his knife hand. The blade clattered to the floor. One chopstick. Through his entire hand. The noodle shop auntie is not getting that utensil back. Ruoxue stomped on his foot trying to escape, and this psycho punched her in the back with everything he had. She flew forward, coughing blood. I caught her with one arm and threw the second chopstick with the other. Through his skull. Dead. The king of snipers, the king of assassins, codenamed Scorpion, killed by chopsticks in a noodle shop. What a way to go. I held Ruoxue in my arms. She was white as paper, lips colorless, sweating, trembling, but she was smiling. Even dying, she wanted to look pretty for me. This girl is going to give me a heart attack before any assassin does. "Beichun, it hurts," she whispered. Sun Qian came running over, crying hysterically, then started punching my shoulders. "This is your fault. If you never came back, she'd be fine. She waited 5 years for you, and this is what she gets? If she dies, I will never forgive you. I let her hit me. She was right to be angry. I deserved every punch. She won't die, I said. I laid Ruashua on the ground and pulled out my jade needle case. Hair-thin silver needles, gleaming in the light. Quick diagnosis: 3 broken ribs, damaged liver and spleen, internal bleeding, heart rate dropping. Life-threatening, but fixable. For someone with my training, anyway. I started inserting needles and pulled out a healing pill to feed her when. Freeze. Step away from the girl. A squad of police appeared, guns drawn, led by a gorgeous female officer with a movie star face and a very serious attitude. Someone had pointed at me yelling, "He's the killer," and now every gun in the squad was aimed at my head. "Put your hands up, headshot ready. Get down," the lady cop was screaming at me. "Touch that girl again and I'll blow your head off." So there I am, mid-surgery, saving a girl's life, and I'm about to get shot by law enforcement. Classic Tuesday. Wang Jinxia. If you shoot my junior brother, I will RIP your face. OFF. Senior sister came storming in like an avenging goddess. She'd been tracking me from Dragon Lake and arrived just in time for the dramatic entrance. The female cop recognized her. Wang Rian. Turns out this cop, Wang Jinxia, is senior sister's cousin. Because of course she is. I'm arresting a murder suspect. Are you interfering with the law? The cousin shouted. Senior sister laughed coldly. My junior brother? A murderer? That's hilarious. Then she turned to me. Ignore her. Keep saving the girl. If she moves, I guarantee she'll be dead before she can pull the trigger. Every bystander went silent. This random woman just threatened to kill a police officer in front of the entire squad, and nobody doubted she could do it. So there's the scene. Me performing emergency acupuncture on a girl who just confessed her love while being held at gunpoint by my senior sister's cousin, while my senior sister threatens to murder a cop. The noodle shop Annie is probably rethinking her career choices right now. I focused on saving Ruashua while senior sister handled everything else behind me. It's like having a personal army that also happens to be your older sister. Cousin cop Wang Jinxia was still pointing her gun at senior sister, yelling about jurisdiction. Senior sister just smiled. That little toy doesn't work on me. Wang Jinxia knew she was right and hated every second of it. Senior sister casually mentioned that the dead guy was actually Scorpion, one of the nation's most wanted criminals. The cops pulled off his face and, surprise, it was a mask. Underneath was the real Scorpion, worth a 5 million yuan bounty. The cops went from, "Arrest that man," to, "We caught a most wanted criminal." Promotions for everyone. In about 3 seconds. You're welcome, officers. I was mid-acupuncture when the night got even more exciting. Who killed my son? A woman's scream echoed down the street, and suddenly hundreds of people appeared on both sides of the night market, forming human walls and closing in like a trash compactor. Every cop went pale. It was Hua Sanyang, Jia Qingshu's mother, a fat woman dripping in jewelry who looked like an angry bulldog wearing a Gucci store. She was from the Hua family of the Dragon Capital, and apparently in Jinling. Even the police chief was scared of her. The rich kids from Dragon Lake Estate were hiding behind her, pointing at me. That's him. He killed Jia Qingshu. Chop him into mincemeat, she screamed. Don't leave a single piece, lovely woman. Really warm personality. Wang Jinxia, credit to her, actually stepped up. This is a legal matter. We'll investigate properly. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too, Hua Sanyang shrieked. I couldn't deal with this. I was literally keeping Ruashua alive with needles. One distraction, and she could die. I got this, senior sister said. She teleported in front of Hua Sanyang so fast the fat woman didn't even see her move. 2 bodyguards lunged. Senior sister killed both with 1 palm strike each. Then she grabbed Hua Sanyang's chubby neck with 1 delicate hand. My junior brother killed your son. You want revenge? Come find me. Next time you bring a mob after him, I'll kill you. Now get lost. She threw Hua Sanyang on the ground like a used napkin. The woman scrambled to her feet, screamed, "This isn't over," and waddled away with her entire entourage. Senior sister watched her go with the most disgusted expression. If your Dragon Capital family wasn't backing you, you wouldn't last 3 days in this city. Cousin Wang Jinxia was standing there, jaw on the floor, furious but completely powerless. Senior sister glanced at her. Go back to being a little cop. then walked away without even making eye contact. Brutal. Meanwhile, I finished stabilizing Ruashua. 3 broken ribs, damaged liver, and spleen, all handled. She was going to be fine with some rest. She woke up and immediately went red as a fire truck. About what I said earlier. Sun Qian helpfully chimed in. She meant every word. Sun Qian. Ruashua started coughing from yelling. Okay, she was lying. All fake. Ignore everything. No, wait, that's not. Is it real or fake, Ruashua? I couldn't help but smile. These two were going back and forth like a comedy routine, while I'd just fought an assassin with chopsticks. The ambulance arrived, and I rode with them to make sure Ruashua was okay. Senior sister left separately. She got into a red Ferrari, and the second the door closed, she called someone. Ninth senior sister. Someone put a 10 billion bounty on our junior brother. On the other end, in some arcade in Zhonghai, a fashionable girl who'd been happily playing video games froze. Someone wants to kill our little brother? Who has the audacity? She dropped her game mid-round. Ninth senior sister was officially activated. So now there are 2 terrifyingly powerful senior sisters on the case. The assassin community has no idea what's coming. And somewhere out there, the second sniper, probably codenamed Rattlesnake, is still running. Poor guy doesn't know he's about to have a very bad week. Senior sister called ninth senior sister, who was apparently in an arcade playing video games, and told her about the 10 billion bounty on me. Ninth sister's response. They want to kill our baby brother? Give me 1 hour. By tomorrow, the Heavenly Kill organization won't have a single forum left on any server on the entire planet. She wasn't bluffing. 30 minutes later on, some island in the Pacific Ocean, the Heavenly Kill organization's entire control room watched in horror as every single screen went dead and was replaced by a red heart symbol. The Red Heart Queen, the world's #1 hacker. These guys were panicking. Who did we offend? This woman hacked the Wolf Nation's national bank. The CIA can't even catch her. Yeah, that's my ninth senior sister. She rage quit a video game and crashed an entire global assassination network in half an hour. My sisters are unhinged. Meanwhile, I brought Ruashua home. Tiny apartment in a rundown neighborhood, small living room, 2 bedrooms, very cute, very modest. She was embarrassed about it being small. Girl, I lived in a cave on a mountain for 5 years. This is the Ritz. I helped her to her room. Nice and tidy, smelled like flowers, pink bed sheets, a stuffed animal on the bed, very wholesome, and there was a lace underwear set just sitting there on the bed. Freshly changed. Out in the open. On full display. Ruashua moved faster than I've ever seen a person with 3 broken ribs move. She grabbed it and shoved it under the pillow so fast it practically teleported. Don't look, I saw nothing, I said, staring very hard at the ceiling. She started coughing from the excitement, so I had to grab her wrist and channel healing energy into her before she passed out from embarrassment-induced medical complications. Rest up. I'm leaving, I said. She grabbed my arm. Don't go, please. That man with the knife scared me. I can't sleep alone tonight. I'll take the couch. No. If you're in the other room, I'll still be scared. Just stay in here. There's only 1 bed. It's big enough for 2. Her face was basically on fire at this point. She grabbed a stuffed bear and held it up like a shield. I'll put this in the middle. You stay on your side. I'll take the inside. Don't cross the line. So there we were, in 1 tiny bed, with a stuffed bear as the Berlin Wall between us. She was facing away from me, but I could hear her heart pounding like a drum machine set to maximum BPM. I could literally hear her heartbeat with my enhanced senses. She was not sleeping. An hour passed. Bibachin, are you asleep? I didn't answer. Playing dead. You're actually sleeping? How can you sleep right now? I'm being so obvious, and you're just... Ugh, you're such a brick. Then she removed the stuffed bear barrier, the one she set up, scooted over, and pressed herself against my back. Her whole body. Right there. I nearly short-circuited. Had to activate my internal energy just to keep my composure. Ruashua. This is a crime scene waiting to happen. She whispered about my 5 years away, said she knew it must have been hard even though I act fine, and told me she was never letting me disappear again. Then she fell asleep, holding on to me, smiling. It was genuinely the most peaceful moment of my entire insane day. For about 20 minutes. Because my danger senses started screaming. Shadows appeared outside the building, climbing the walls like lizards up to the 7th floor. He's asleep. This is our chance. Careful, this guy kills grandmasters. Doesn't matter. Our knockout smoke can take down even a grandmaster. They cracked the window open. White smoke crept into the room. They waited 3 minutes. Okay, he should be unconscious. Let's go in and finish the job. They turned to look through the window. The bed was empty. Where did he go? Guys, I literally fight people who catch bullets. You think smoke is going to work on me? I trained under the Poison King. Your little sleeping gas is basically aromatherapy to me. Where did I go? Oh, wouldn't they like to know? 5 assassins showed up while Ruashua was sleeping. They climbed the building like lizards, pumped knockout smoke through the window, waited 3 minutes, and then peeked inside expecting to find me unconscious. The bed was empty. Where'd he go? Maybe he's in the bathroom. Yeah, he probably just had to pee. From above them, I sighed. You guys are so dumb. Who sent 5 heaven-rank warriors to kill me? That person's IQ must be in the negatives. They looked up and nearly had heart attacks. I was hanging off the side of the building by one hand punched into the concrete wall, arm at a perfect 90-degree angle, just dangling there 7 stories up like a human coat hook. Very casual. Very Spider-Man. Get him. I let go of the wall, ran across the building's surface like gravity was a suggestion, and punched 2 of them in the chest. Their ribs cracked like breadsticks, and they fell 7 stories straight down. Splat. 2 down. The remaining 3 panicked and swallowed some black pills called bone explosion pills, which temporarily boost your power to grandmaster level at the cost of 10 years of your lifespan. Their energy surged, their bodies made crackling sounds, blood-red aura appeared around them. Very dramatic transformation sequence. I watched and yawned internally. Bone explosion pills, I said casually. Burns your blood energy for a temporary boost. Costs about 10 years of life. Made with 30-year blood ginseng, 50-year iron bone grass, goldstone powder, sulfur. Their eyes nearly fell out. I was literally reciting their secret pills recipe while standing on the side of a building. How do you know that? Because my 95th master is literally the medicine king, you clowns. This pill? Dogs wouldn't eat it. Who sent you? I asked. You'll find out in your next life. One of them launched at me with some tiger claw technique, fist wrapped in energy, aimed at my heart. I grabbed his wrist and ripped his entire arm off. Just tore it clean from his body like pulling a drumstick off a chicken. The other 2 almost died of fear on the spot. I jumped on the armless guy's back, stomped him down from 7 stories. He hit the concrete like a meteorite, and used the rebound from that stomp to launch myself at the remaining 2. They tried to slide down the building wall like they were in a firefighter training video. I just jumped. Straight down. 7 floors. 30+ meters. I landed and the concrete exploded under my feet, creating spiderweb cracks spreading outward. Both my legs, completely fine. One assassin's legs turned to jelly, and he collapsed face first on the ground. The other tried to run, but I punched his shoulder so hard his kneecaps blew up when he hit the pavement. He immediately started banging his forehead on the ground, begging for mercy. Please. I'm sorry. Don't kill me. Please. The other one crawled over and joined the kowtowing session. 2 grown assassins, head-butting concrete, crying. With your abilities, how did you even dare come after me? I genuinely wanted to know. Then, whoosh, an arrow came out of nowhere. I bent backward into a bridge pose, and it passed millimeters above my stomach. If I'd been a fraction slower, it would have punched through my heart. But the arrow kept going, straight through one of the kneeling assassins. Dead. Whoosh, a second arrow. Through the other one's skull. Dead. Someone was killing them to shut them up. Silencing witnesses. Again. I looked up at a rooftop. A shadow flickered and vanished in an instant. Fast arrow, I noted. So whoever's behind all this sent 5 guys to kill me, then sent a 6th person to kill the 5 guys before they could talk. This conspiracy has more layers than an onion at this point. And Ruashua slept through the entire thing. 3 broken ribs, and she's sleeping like a baby. That girl's commitment to unconsciousness is honestly impressive. The mystery archer was fast. I sprinted up 20 floors in 3 seconds. My cardio is insane, and caught up on the rooftop. Moonlight hit the figure, and I noticed something unexpected. A woman. She took off running across rooftops like a parkour cat in a ninja outfit. Even did a little look-back taunt. Cute. Very bold for someone I was about to destroy. I picked up a roof tile, and chucked it at her like a frisbee. She spun around, drew her bow, and shattered it mid-air with an arrow. Okay, impressive. So I broke another tile into 10 pieces and threw them all at once. She shot 10 arrows in rapid succession. Hit every single one. This girl was basically a human anti-missile system. Then she gave me another cocky look. Is that all you've got? Let's find out, I smiled. I threw 10 more pieces. She fired 9 arrows. Bullseye, 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 reached back for arrow number 10 and grabbed nothing. Empty quiver. The look on her face behind that mask, priceless. The last tile smacked her in the shoulder with full force. She went flying off the edge of a 20-story building. Am I going to die like this? I could practically read her thoughts, so I jumped after her. Yes, OFF, a 20-story building. Voluntarily. While falling, I appeared in front of her face like a casual delivery notification. I'll save you. But you tell me everything you know. Otherwise, you go splat. I agree. I agree. I grabbed her, one arm around her waist. The other hand landed on her posterior region. Look, it was an emergency. Physics demanded optimal grip placement. She made a small noise. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. We hit the ground. My feet sank into the concrete like it was clay. She instinctively wrapped her arms around my neck and held on for dear life. You can let go now, I said coldly. She jumped off me like I was on fire. Remember your promise, I told her. Answer honestly, or I'll make you wish you'd taken the fall. She nodded and pulled off her face mask. Underneath was the most innocent, pure-looking face imaginable. Clear eyes, no makeup, looked like a college freshman, not a professional killer. Nature's greatest deception. Name, UUA, who are you? Dragon Group. Elite Archer. Female Soldier King. I froze. Dragon Group? The government's special forces? She was official. She pulled out credentials, military ID, official stamps, rank of major, serial number, and everything. 22 years old. The whole package was legit. She explained, Dragon Group is a special unit that handles warriors who threaten public safety. Regular soldiers can't fight grandmasters who catch bullets, so Dragon Group exists to take them down. And apparently, after I destroyed the Zhao family and stormed the king's palace, someone upstairs decided I was a danger to social stability and issued orders to capture me, dead or alive. Wait, I said, catching something. You said your government. Those 5 assassins were Heavenly Kill Organization. So why did you kill them? They were wanted criminals. I eliminated them as part of my duties. I wasn't silencing witnesses. I stared at her. I don't believe you. She shrugged and showed me her full credentials again. It checked out. This complicated things. I'd figured the government would be slow to react. I'd planned to finish my revenge and disappear back to Kunlun Mountain before anyone noticed. But Dragon Group was already here, with archers who could shoot 10 arrows in 3 seconds. She even helpfully explained that Dragon Group protects ordinary people from dangerous warriors, and I was now classified as said dangerous warrior. I laughed, but not the funny kind. So my entire family gets murdered by the king of Jiangnan's people, and that's fine. But when I come back for revenge, suddenly I'm the dangerous one. My parents and brother are dead and nobody from Dragon Group showed up to help them. But the second I start fighting back, here you all are. She had no answer for that. Yue frowned at me like I was the bad guy here. The Zhao family were law-abiding citizens. I laughed so hard I almost pulled a muscle. Law-abiding? They helped chase me for 3 months after their buddies murdered my entire family. Where was your precious Dragon Group when my parents were being slaughtered? Where were you when I was running for my life at 18? She looked genuinely shocked. Apparently Dragon Group had no idea about what happened to my family 5 years ago. The king of Jiangnan and possibly the war god had buried the whole thing, filed it as a normal case, and nobody upstairs ever heard about it. Come back to Dragon Group with me, she said. We'll investigate. We don't fear the war god. We'll get you justice. I stared at this girl. She was completely serious. She actually believed she, a 22-year-old major, could take on the war god of the entire nation and win. Through paperwork. It was the most naive, idealistic, adorable thing I'd heard all day. And I'd heard a lot of stupid things today. But she had a point buried under all that innocence. Even if I killed everyone responsible, the world would just see me as a murderer. Nobody would know why. My parents deserved more than secret revenge. They deserved the truth, out in the open. She tried to raise her hand to swear an oath and immediately winced because, oh right, I'd smashed her shoulder with a roof tile 20 minutes ago. So I walked over and stuck 3 silver needles into her wound. The bleeding stopped instantly. Pain gone. She blinked. Why are you helping me? I'm not helping you. I'm helping myself. Then I explained my little insurance policy. Those 3 needles weren't just for healing. They were now floating through her bloodstream. She had 1 week to investigate my parents' murder and bring me answers. If she delivered, I'd remove the needles. If she didn't, the needles would drift to her heart, and every heartbeat would be a stab. And don't bother finding a surgeon, I added casually. Nobody on earth can remove them except me. Her face went paper white. You're evil. Trust issues, I shrugged. 5 years ago, I was betrayed by a sweet-looking farm couple who handed me over to the people hunting me. I don't do blind faith anymore. She gritted her teeth. Fine. 1 week. I'll find your truth. Then she disappeared into the night. Interesting girl. Naive, righteous, and now extremely motivated. Let's see what she brings back. I headed back to Ruashiwa's apartment building, which was now swarming with police and crime scene tape. The 5 dead assassins were laid out under white sheets. Wang Jinxia, senior sister's cop cousin, was on the phone going, 5 more A-list wanted criminals. Tonight's a gold mine. I decided not to walk through the front door. Instead, I wall climbed up the back of the building and slipped through the living room window like a ninja. Sun Qian was standing right there in her pajamas, holding a glass of water that she promptly dropped and shattered on the floor. The moonlight was doing her pajamas absolutely no favors in terms of coverage. It's me, I said. She clutched her chest. I thought you were a burglar. What's with all the cops outside? No idea, I lied. I turned to go back to Ruashiwa's room when Sun Qian called out with the smuggest grin. So, did you too? You know. Did you? Did what? Oh, come on. Don't play dumb. 5 years apart, first night back together, sharing a bed. That's fireworks waiting to happen. She's been single for 4 years of college. Drywood meets fire. A drought meeting ring. You must have gone to war in there. Also, she's a virgin, so don't you dare bail on her. I nearly tripped over my own feet. Stop talking. I shoved open Ruashiwa's door and escaped inside. Look, I can catch bullets, fight armies, survive explosions, and intimidate 3,000 soldiers with a single word. But Sun Qian's commentary? That is my kryptonite. I have 0 experience with this stuff. 0. 5 years on a mountain with 99 old men does not prepare you for this. I looked at the bed. Ruashiwa was sprawled out in a starfish position, moonlight highlighting everything. Mountains and valleys and legs that went on forever. My blood started doing things that internal energy was not designed to handle. I sighed deeply. This is entrapment. Ruashiwa was sleep-talking. Beichin, don't leave, while lying there looking like a painting. I rubbed my nose and thought, great, another romantic debt to add to my collection. Next morning, I'd barely finished brushing my teeth when cops kicked down the door. Wang Jinxia, senior sister's cousin, the one who tried to arrest me yesterday, stormed in like she owned the place, chest out, badge gleaming. She questioned Sun Qian about last night's noise. Sun Qian played dumb. Then I walked out of Ruashiwa's bedroom with Ruashiwa right behind me, and Wang Jinxia's eyes went full detective mode. You two slept together? Now. In her head, I'm already Wang Ruyan's man. Senior sister killed the king for me. And here I am walking out of another woman's bedroom the very next morning. In her mind, I've gone from dangerous criminal to cheating dangerous criminal. Does this have anything to do with your investigation? I asked. I know exactly what kind of person you are. Why, Beichin? Wang Ruyan killed the king of Jiangnan for you, and this is how you repay her. How am I repaying her? Scum. You're scum, she snapped, then went full cop mode. You have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can be used against you. Cuff him. Silver handcuffs came out. Cops surrounded me. Here we go again. Stop. Everyone froze. A gorgeous woman walked in with the presence of a nuclear warhead. Hanyu, the granddaughter who'd told me to kneel and apologize yesterday. Behind her were 3 men radiating grandmaster-level energy. The Han family doesn't travel light. She'd spent the entire night tracking me down across cities. That's dedication. Who are you? Wang Jinxia demanded. You don't need to know who I am. You just need to know, this man is under my protection. You're not taking him anywhere. Wang Jinxia scoffed. Hanyu pulled out her phone, dialed a number, and casually said, Director Liu? My friend here is being hassled by your people. Her badge number is JL5568937. Handle it. Less than 1 minute later, Wang Jinxia's official police radio buzzed. Caller ID, JL00000001. The Supreme Commander of all police in Jinling. Calling her personally. Stand down, the director ordered. But he's connected to 5 dead A-list criminals. Give me face on this one. I'll explain later. Or I suspend you. Wang Jinxiao looked like she was chewing broken glass, but she complied. She glared at me one last time. Next time you won't be so lucky. Then stomped out with her team. Han Yu turned to me with the warmest smile. A complete 180 from yesterday's Ice Queen. Dr. Yi, I was wrong yesterday. Please accept my sincere apology, Doctor. Why? Ruoxue and Sun Qian exchanged confused looks. Turns out, after I left yesterday, Grandpa Han drank his ginseng tea, the stuff I told them to stop, and immediately collapsed in agony. Their fancy doctor couldn't do anything. In desperation, Grandpa Han remembered my needle prescription. They tried it. Pain vanished instantly. And then, the man who'd been paralyzed for 5 years stood up. 3 needles. My instructions. The Han family's most impossible medical miracle, delivered by some random kid they dismissed as an attention seeker. Han Yu had done a complete philosophical transformation overnight. She explained it beautifully. You can disrespect the rich, the powerful, the military, but you never disrespect a doctor like me. Because everyone gets sick eventually, and one day you'll be begging at a healer's door. Please come to Zhonghai and treat my grandfather, she asked politely. Not interested, I said. She didn't even flinch. Clearly expected that answer. Instead, she played her trump card. Dr. Yi, I used my family's connections to investigate some things from 5 years ago. Everything is in this folder. A secretary stepped forward and handed me a file. 5 years ago, my eyes went sharp. Yes, including some truths I believe you'll be very interested in knowing. She had me. She absolutely had me. This girl spent one night and already dug up information about my parents' murder that I've been chasing for an entire blood-soaked day. Note to self. Never underestimate rich girls with unlimited resources and a grandfather who wants to walk again. I opened Han Yu's folder, and my blood pressure went through the roof. According to the official records in Jiangnan's archives, my family died in a robbery, a random home invasion. Case closed, criminals caught and punished. Justice served. Everyone go home. Oh, and it gets better. The file listed 4 deaths. Not 3. Me included. Yi Beichen, dead at age 18. I have an official death certificate and everything. I'm literally a ghost according to the government. Very convenient for whoever wanted my family erased from existence. Han Yu started walking me through what her people had uncovered in a single night. The Han family's intelligence network is absolutely terrifying. One evening of phone calls, and they'd already pieced together more than I'd managed in an entire day of personally murdering my way through the suspect list. She confirmed that the king of Jiangnan and the Zhao family handled the cover-up. Zhao Akin was just cleanup crew. He swooped in afterward to gobble up my family's assets like a vulture picking at bones. The fake police report was created by the king's people. The 2 heaven-ranked bodyguards who actually did the killing, Hong Xiao and Hong Wu, were both already dead by my hand. So at least that box was checked. But here was the critical part. Han Yu's people had pulled the king of Jiangnan's complete phone records from 5 years ago. The day before my family was murdered, one specific call came in to the king's private line. She paused dramatically at this point, clearly wanting to build suspense. I looked at the page. Where the caller's name should be, there was just a giant question mark. The war godling thing, I said. Han Yu nearly fell over. She'd been planning this big reveal, and I just casually guessed it like it was a multiple-choice quiz with one answer. She could only nod and confirm. Yes, the war godling thing called the king of Jiangnan the day before my parents were slaughtered. My eyes went cold. Every trail, every clue, every dying confession had pointed the same direction. And now there was actual evidence. Phone records. Documentation. The war god was connected to my family's murder. Han Yu admitted she hadn't pushed the investigation further. One night wasn't enough time, and digging into a war god requires serious commitment. But then she made her pitch with the confidence of a businesswoman closing a deal. She looked me straight in the eye and said if I agreed to treat her grandfather, the Han family would keep investigating, even against the war god. even against a man who commands 1.2 million soldiers across 4 regions. The Han family apparently had connections in the dragon capital that made them fearless. She was offering me a trade. My medical skills for her family's spy network. I'll find the war god myself, I said flatly. Her face did this wonderful thing where her composure cracked for exactly half a second. She clearly thought I was insane. The war god Lingfeng is the only Grand Master in the entire Southeast. He controls 4 regional kings and over 1 million troops. Going to confront him alone is basically writing your own obituary. She was gearing up to argue when my phone rang, and everything changed. A man with a thick foreign accent was on the line. His Chinese was rough and choppy. He didn't introduce himself, didn't explain who he represented, just started making demands about my bank card, the crazy one my master gave me with all the animal symbols on it, the one that apparently shook the entire global financial system when I bought Ryu a car yesterday. That card. How did you get it? You must have stolen it. Hand it over, or your fiancée and her family will never be seen again. Then I heard it. A sharp slap, and Ruoyu's voice, strained and desperate through the phone. Beichen, don't come back. More slapping sounds. These people were hitting her. The foreign man came back on. You have 1 hour. If you're not here, we kill them all and come find you personally. Don't doubt our reach. We will find you anywhere on this planet. He hung up. 1 hour. I was in Jinling. Ruoyu was in Jiangnan. That's a 3-hour drive on a good day. 1 hour was physically impossible by any normal means of transportation. My vision went red. Ryu had spent 5 years tending my family's graves. She buried my parents and brother with her own hands. She visited every single week. She endured gossip and judgment and never once abandoned my dead family's memory. And now, because of some bank card, she was being threatened by foreigners I'd never even met. I don't care who you are. I growled at my phone even though the call was already over. Touch Ryu or her family, and I will kill every last one of you. Han Yu saw the look on my face and actually flinched. Dr. Yi, what happened? I need to get to Jiangnan in 1 hour. She didn't ask questions, didn't hesitate, didn't negotiate. She just pulled out her phone. Get me a helicopter. Rooftop of Sunshine Garden Complex. Now, by the time we climbed to the roof, the helicopter was already hovering overhead, dropping a rope ladder. The Han family's logistics are genuinely scary. I scrambled up the ladder. Han Yu climbed up behind me with surprisingly solid agility for a rich girl. Turns out she's actually a mystic rank warrior herself. Your meridians are blocked, I told her as we boarded. If you clear them, your power level jumps significantly. Her eyes lit up like Christmas. She understood immediately. I was accepting her help in my own roundabout way. Thank you, Dr. Yi. The helicopter banked hard toward Jiangnan. I stared out the window, jaw clenched, fists tight. Back in the apartment, Ruoxue and Sun Qian were standing in the living room, completely shell-shocked. Sun Qian's face was tomato red as she processed everything she'd overheard about kings and war gods and assassinations. Ruoxue. Who is that guy? Good question, Sun Qian. I'm still figuring that out myself. The helicopter covered a 2-hour drive in 30 minutes. When we were still 500 meters from the Zhou family villa and about 100 meters up in the air, I opened the cabin door. Han Yu started yelling something about how this was 100 meters up and even grandmasters can only survive 50-meter drops and the world record and blah blah blah. I jumped before she finished her sentence. The look on her face as I disappeared over the edge was absolutely priceless. She probably thought she just watched her grandfather's only hope of walking again turn into a pancake. I landed perfectly, cratered the ground a bit, sure, but my legs were fine. Then I sprinted 500 meters to the Zhou villa in about 30 seconds. Olympic athletes would weep. The villa was locked up tight, every curtain drawn. 3 white guys with sniper rifles were hiding on the roof, watching me through their scopes. One of them radioed in on a walkie-talkie with some foreign accent confirming my identity. They had surveillance footage from the car dealership where I bought the Porsche yesterday. Professional operation. The front door opened. Inside was pitch black. I walked in without hesitating because honestly at this point in my day, dark rooms full of armed foreigners barely register as interesting. The door slammed shut behind me. Lights came on. 5 armed white guys materialized behind me with guns pointed at my back. They shoved me forward with their rifle, but like I was cattle. Sitting on Uncle Zhou's couch was a tall white dude drinking red wine from a fancy glass. He had that European aristocrat look going on, very pale, very angular face, very convinced of his own importance. His Chinese was rough but understandable. "You are Yi Beichin, where's Ryu and Uncle Zhou?" I asked. "I asked the questions here, not you," he said with maximum smugness. "Fine." I confirmed my identity. He immediately asked about the bank card. I held it up between two fingers. The second he saw it, his entire cool guy act shattered. His pupils contracted, his breathing went haywire, and he literally stumbled forward 2 steps reaching for it, like a crackhead lunging for his fix. This card apparently means something enormous to these people. It really is a beautiful card though. Diamond border, gold engravings of a dragon, bear, tiger, lion, and eagle on the front. My master just casually tossed it to me before kicking me off the mountain. Apparently, it is some kind of world-shaking financial artifact, and I have been using it to buy cars. I closed my fist around the card. "Let me see Ryu, or I destroy it right now." This man lost it. His blue eyes filled with blood vessels, and he started screaming like I had threatened to detonate a nuclear bomb. "You dare? If you destroy that card, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life." I just stared at him until he calmed down. Took him a solid minute of heavy breathing. "Bring them," he finally barked. Ryu, Uncle Zhou, and Aunt Li were dragged out. Tied up, mouths taped shut. My heart clenched, but I checked them over quickly. No serious injuries. No torture marks. Just terrified. I exhaled slightly. "People are here. Give me the card," the white guy demanded. "Let them leave first," I said, pointing at the door. He calculated for a moment. I could see the gears turning behind those icy blue eyes. He had over 30 people total, he figured. 20-something mercenaries plus 3 mercenary kings who were supposedly grandmaster-level fighters. One young Chinese guy against all of that. The math worked in his favor. Or so he thought. He nodded. "Untie them. Let them go." The ropes came off. Ryu immediately started crying and begging me to run. I shook my head gently. Uncle Zhou understood the situation instantly. He grabbed his wife and daughter and pulled them toward the exit. Smart man. He knew I could handle this, and that they would only be liabilities if they stayed. The moment they cleared the front door, I slid the bank card back into my pocket. The white guy's face went dark. "What are you doing?" I completely ignored him. Just strolled over to the couch like I was visiting a friend's house. Sat down comfortably. Picked up a clean glass. Grabbed the bottle of red wine on the table and poured myself a generous serving. Took a slow, appreciative sip. 82 law fight. Uncle Zhou has excellent taste. Every single foreigner in the room was staring at me with their mouths open. I had just walked into a hostage situation, freed the hostages, pocketed the thing they wanted, sat down on their couch, and started drinking their wine, while surrounded by 30 armed men. The white leader snapped. He pulled a Swiss Army knife from his belt and lunged at my throat like a cobra strike. Top-quality Swiss engineering, beautiful blade, probably very expensive. I caught it between 2 fingers. Then I pinched. The knife snapped in half like a chocolate bar. The broken blade spun through the air and embedded itself in his thigh. He dropped to the floor screaming. A top-tier military-grade Swiss knife. Snapped with 2 fingers. I saw the existential crisis flash across every mercenary's face simultaneously. The collective, "Is this guy even human?" realization hit them all at once. The other mercenaries raised their guns. Bad decision, gentlemen. I was still holding the wine glass. I flicked my wrist, and the glass exploded in my hand. Then I twisted my palm outward, and the glass shards flew across the room like a shotgun blast of crystal confetti. Every single shard found a skull. 15 mercenaries dropped simultaneously, each one with a piece of wine glass embedded in their forehead, dead before they hit the floor. I killed 15 professional soldiers with a drinking glass. Uncle Zhou is going to need new glassware. The room went very quiet except for the white leader whimpering on the floor with a knife blade in his leg. Then behind me, 3 new presences appeared. The mercenary kings. Their energy felt different from the regular soldiers. Heavier, deadlier. These 3 were the real threat, supposedly comparable to Grandmaster-level warriors. One of them summed up the situation with a single word that transcended all language barriers. "FUCK, yeah buddy. That about covers it." 3 mercenary kings came at me. One moved like a snake, one like a tiger, one like a lion. Very dramatic entrance. Very short career. Snake guy was the fastest. He appeared behind me and threw a punch at my head. I did not even bother turning around. Just reached back, grabbed his fist, and flung him across the room. He went through the villa wall and left a perfect human-shaped hole in the concrete. Like a cartoon. Except cartoons get back up. He did not. Tiger Guy was next. This dude was built like a refrigerator made of muscle. He came at me with both fists swinging like wrecking balls. One aimed at my heart, one at my throat. Double attack. Very creative. Probably practiced this move thousands of times. I grabbed both his wrists and pulled in opposite directions. His arms ripped clean off his body like I was pulling wings off a fly. While he was screaming and processing his new armless lifestyle, I punched him in the chest. His heart exploded inside his ribcage. Fight over. Lion Guy watched both his partners die in about 15 seconds total and made the smartest decision of his life. He turned around and ran. Unfortunately for him, smart and fast enough are two very different things. I kicked him in the back so hard, he launched forward like a human cannonball. Before he could even hit the ground, I appeared underneath him, caught him by the throat, and twisted. Snap. 3 mercenary kings, 3 bodies, under 60 seconds combined. William, the white guy who had been sipping wine and acting like European royalty 5 minutes ago, was now on the floor with a knife blade in his leg, surrounded by the corpses of his entire team, staring up at me with an expression that suggested his brain had completely blue-screened. "What are you?" he whispered. I walked over to him, hands behind my back, and repeated his own words from earlier right back at him. "Is it me asking the questions, or you?" The arrogance evaporated from this man like water on a hot skillet. He went from aristocratic smugness to full groveling mode in 0.5 seconds. Started shaking, started stuttering, and then played his biggest card. "My name is William. I am from the Rothschild family. You cannot kill me. My family controls 1/5 of the world's wealth. I am one of the heirs. If you kill me, your entire country will face economic sanctions. Please spare me. I will give you money, women, power, status, anything." The Rothschild family. Even I have heard of them. These people basically invented modern banking. Kings and presidents treat them with respect. Killing one of their heirs would be an international incident of epic proportions. Did I care? Absolutely not. But I was curious about something. "You came here for this card?" I held up the bank card between 2 fingers. William's eyes locked onto it like a starving dog spotting a steak. Pure, naked greed flashed across his face before he caught himself. "Yes, that card's origins are terrifying. Please give it to me. I will pay you 10 billion. No, 100 billion US dollars. $100 billion. For a bank card my master literally threw at me while telling me to get lost. Now I was genuinely confused. When Master 27 tossed me this card on the mountain, he mumbled something about controlling global financial empires and the Rothschild family and Morgan banks being his personal property. I thought he was just being a weird old man talking nonsense. All my masters said crazy stuff like that. One claimed he had a token that commands 300,000 holy soldiers in Jerusalem. Another said he was some kind of imperial advisor to entire nations. I figured they were all just eccentric mountain hermits who liked to brag. But here was William, an actual Rothschild heir, literally on his knees, offering $100 billion, weeping over this card like it was the Holy Grail. "How much money is on this card?" I asked, genuinely wanting to know. I had assumed maybe 1 or 200 million total. Enough to live comfortably, maybe buy a nice house and some noodles. William hesitated. I could see the lie forming behind his eyes. "If you lie to me, I will introduce you to your God personally," I said. He slammed his forehead against the floor and started talking very fast. "Sir, I would never dare deceive you. The owner of this card created the Rothschild family. The Morgan family works for him. Citibank is his personal playground. Your country's national treasury lets him withdraw whatever he wants. The world's oil, gold, and diamond resources are all his private property." I blinked. However, William continued, sweating profusely. "The card's owner disappeared about 100 years ago. The card vanished with him. When you used it yesterday to buy that car for 10 million yuan, every major financial institution on the planet detected the transaction. They all know the card has resurfaced." "Who was the owner?" I asked, my expression getting increasingly strange. William answered with maximum reverence. "He is known in the Western world as the Godfather." My brain short-circuited. The Godfather. Master 27. The old guy who smelled like cigars, and always wore that stupid hat. The one who would fall asleep during my training sessions. The one who once tripped over his own robe walking down the mountain steps. That guy was the godfather of the entire Western financial world. That ridiculous, snoring, hat-wearing old man created the Rothschild family and personally owns the global oil and diamond supply. His bank card can shake every financial market on Earth just by purchasing a Porsche. I stood there having what I can only describe as a complete reality reassessment. For 5 years, I assumed my 99 masters were just powerful fighters who lived on a mountain because they were antisocial weirdos. Sure, they had skills. Sure, they taught me everything. But I genuinely believe they were exaggerating their backgrounds. The Meow Poison King who poisoned 100,000 people? Sure, okay, maybe that one was real. But the guy who claimed he controlled Jerusalem's armies? The one who said he was a national imperial advisor? Were all of those true? I thought about the jade thumb ring in my pocket, supposedly an imperial artifact. I thought about the military token, supposedly commanding hundreds of thousands of holy warriors. I thought about all the times my masters casually mentioned world-shaking credentials while I nodded politely and assumed they were senile. My masters were not a group of eccentric mountain hermits. They were apparently the most powerful collection of human beings on the entire planet. And they spent 5 years begging me to leave because I was too annoying. If Senior Sister knew what I was thinking right now, she would probably say something like, "Where did you think my confidence came from? You idiot." Fair point, Senior Sister. Fair point. After William finished explaining the card, I was still processing the fact that my Master 27 apparently invented modern capitalism. But William helpfully put it in simple terms for me. With this card, you do not just withdraw money. Every asset owned by the 5 greatest financial empires on Earth belongs to you. 80% of the world's wealth is yours to command. One word from you could bankrupt an entire nation. One sentence could replace a president. Replace a president. With a sentence. I rubbed my chin and thought about that for a moment. That does sound kind of fun, actually. While I was thinking, William saw his opportunity. His eyes flashed with something venomous, and he pressed a button hidden on his wrist. A miniature gun built into his chest fired a bullet straight at my face from less than 2 meters away. His expression twisted into a psychotic grin. Die. Then the grin froze. Because I was holding the bullet between 2 fingers. Again, this is becoming my signature move at this point. I should put it on a business card. Yi Beichin, professional bullet catcher. You still want to kill me? I asked, genuinely amused. William turned into a statue made of pure terror. His body went cold, his face went white, and he started backing away on his injured legs like a crab trying to escape a cooking pot. No, I am sorry. It was an accident. I did not mean to. Really? Let me have an accident too then. I flicked the bullet back. It punched through his heart faster than it had come out of his little chest gun. William collapsed with the most surprised expression a dead man has ever worn. Killed by his own bullet, returned to sender with express delivery. I felt a presence outside and called out. You done eavesdropping? Hanyu nearly jumped out of her skin. She pushed open the villa door, looking like a kid caught stealing cookies. Dr. Yi, I was not. I did not mean to. This girl had been listening to everything. The card. The Rothschild family. The 80% of global wealth. The president replacing power. She heard it all. I asked about Ryu first. Hanyu confirmed her people were protecting the Zhou family. Good. Then I told her very calmly that everything she heard today stays between us. Nobody else finds out. She nodded so fast I thought her head might detach from her neck. Clean this place up, I said, and walked out. Behind me, Hanyu was drenched in sweat. She later admitted that for one terrifying second, she genuinely believed I might kill her if she said the wrong word. Smart girl. She was not entirely wrong. I found Ryu and her parents outside. The second Ryu saw me, she launched herself into my arms like a heat-seeking missile of emotions. She was trembling like a leaf. I held her, patted her shoulder, and told her everything was fine now. Then I suggested they move into my place for safety. Your place? They asked, confused. My old family home was a ruin covered in weeds. So I brought them to the former king of Jiangnan's palace. The one Senior Sister had renamed the Yi family estate yesterday. Their jaws collectively hit the floor. Uncle Zhou could barely speak. Beichin, the king's palace is yours now. Yes. Make yourselves at home. Uncle Zhou, Senior Sister had already stationed several heaven-rank fighters and a grandmaster inside the estate as hidden guards. With Ryu's family living there, they would be well protected even when I was away chasing murderers and catching bullets and accidentally destabilizing global financial markets. The family was shaken up, so I sent them to rest. Any room in the palace was theirs to pick from. Dozens of bedrooms, each one fancier than most people's entire houses. Half an hour later, Hanyu showed up at my door. She had already disposed of every single body in the Zhou villa. All those Rothschild elite mercenaries, the 3 mercenary kings, William himself, all cleaned up without a trace. On foreign soil, killing Rothschild heirs would be a diplomatic nightmare. But this was Dragon Nation territory. Foreign financial empires cannot reach in here so easily. I gave her credit. You handled that well. I owe you one. Her eyes lit up immediately. Dr. Yi, about my grandfather's legs. I thought about it for exactly 2 seconds. She had earned this. I wrote her a prescription and explained the deal. Follow this medicine formula, and her grandfather would be walking normally right away, jumping around like a healthy person. But it would not be a permanent cure. When I eventually visited Zhonghai, I would treat him personally for a complete fix. She accepted gratefully. I handed her the prescription. She left her business card and phone number, thanked me approximately 47 times, and departed. Her grandfather had apparently given her strict orders not to offend me under any circumstances. Wise old man, getting smarter every day. That evening, something happened that hit me harder than any punch or bullet ever could. Aunt Li and Ryu cooked dinner together. A full table of homemade dishes. Nothing fancy. No lobster, no wagyu, no caviar. Just regular home cooking. I sat down and almost could not eat. Not because it was bad, because it was the first home-cooked meal I had tasted in 5 years. On Kunlun Mountain, we ate whatever the masters threw together, which was usually terrible. This was warm and real, and it smelled like the kitchen my mother used to run. My chest felt tight in a way that had nothing to do with combat injuries. We ate together like a family. It was quiet and warm, and for exactly 30 minutes. Nobody was trying to kill me. Then Uncle Zhou put down his chopsticks, took a deep breath, and got serious. He had been fidgeting the whole meal, clearly wrestling with something heavy. I told him to just say it. He looked me in the eyes with more gravity than I had ever seen from this gentle man. Beichen, I know you are a warrior. You do not even fear the king of Jiangnan. Someday you will probably be as powerful as the war god himself. There is something I have been thinking about for a long time, and I think you need to hear it now. He paused. The room went completely still. Ryu stopped chewing. Even Aunt Li froze mid-bite. The things that belong to the Yi family, Uncle Zhou said slowly. Should you not take them back? Things that belong to the Yi family? My family was a small-time wealthy household. What could we possibly have that needed reclaiming? Unless Uncle Zhou knew something about my family that I did not. That question hung in the air like a lit fuse. And I had a feeling the explosion was coming next. Uncle Zhou dropped a bombshell at the dinner table. Apparently my dad had a factory before he was murdered. Nothing huge, but it was innovative and ahead of its time. A group of Japanese businessmen tried to buy it, and Dad refused. Then after my family was slaughtered, the Zhao family teamed up with these Japanese guys and stole the entire business. So add Japanese Business Consortium to the list of people who potentially contributed to my parents' deaths. The revenge spreadsheet just keeps growing. I am going to need a bigger spreadsheet. Uncle Zhou also mentioned that with the Zhao family destroyed and the king of Jiangnan dead, there was now a massive power vacuum in the region's economy. And guess who was rushing to fill it? The Japanese merchants. They were planning a big business meeting tomorrow where all the major players in Jiangnan would attend. My family's stolen factory was being run by these people, managed by a man named Chen Qianan. I told Uncle Zhou very simply that anyone connected to my parents' deaths would face consequences, and anything belonging to the Yi family would come back to the Yi family. Period. End of discussion. No negotiations. After dinner, I went to my bedroom. Former bedroom of the king of Jiangnan. The most luxurious room I have ever been in. It looked like a movie set for an emperor's chambers. I sat cross-legged on the bed and started circulating my internal energy to cultivate. Just another peaceful evening of meditation in my stolen palace. Meanwhile, 10,000 kilometers away in some ancient European castle, a nobleman in fancy clothes was eating steak and getting very nervous. 6 hours had passed since William went silent. His old butler assured him everything was probably fine because William had 3 mercenary kings with him. What could possibly go wrong in Dragon Nation? Oh, buddy, if you only knew. The nobleman walked to his window, stared at the full moon, and whispered into the darkness, "Godfather, are you truly still alive?" He wanted that card back desperately. Apparently, whoever controls it controls the entire Rothschild empire and basically becomes ruler of the world economy. And I have been carrying it around in my pocket next to my house keys. Back at the palace, I was about to sleep when I heard a tiny voice outside my door. "Beichun." I opened it, and Ryu slipped inside like a little mouse. She was wearing pajamas with cartoon characters on them. Absolutely adorable. She said she was scared and could not sleep alone after being kidnapped by armed foreigners today. Fair enough, honestly. That would rattle anyone. I offered to sleep on the floor. She immediately vetoed that idea because the floor was cold and I might get sick. I told her I am a warrior with internal energy protection and could literally run naked through a blizzard without catching a cold. "Why are you talking about running naked?" She covered her face with both hands and dove onto the bed. "Just sleep on your side." The king's bed was enormous. Two people could sleep on it without even knowing the other existed. And I had already shared a bed with Roashua last night without anything happening. So my self-control credentials were firmly established. I agreed and lay down on the outer edge. I could hear her heartbeat accelerating, her breathing getting faster. She inched closer to me by exactly 3 centimeters. I could practically hear her internal debate. Scared he will try something. Scared he will not try something. The eternal paradox of the nervous fiancé. While she was agonizing over this dilemma, I fell asleep. Or at least she thought I fell asleep. "You fell asleep already?" she pouted. Then she quietly crawled over, kissed me on the lips, grabbed my arm like a teddy bear, and passed out with a satisfied smile. I was not asleep. I felt everything. I licked my lips and smiled in the darkness. This girl is going to be the death of me. Not assassins, not war gods, not global financial conspiracies. Just one girl in cartoon pajamas. Next morning, I woke up, washed my face, and opened the bedroom door. Ryoyu immediately bolted out like a cat escaping a bathtub, trying to sneak back to her room before anyone noticed. She ran directly into Uncle Joe. "Dad!" She stomped her foot in embarrassment and sprinted away. Uncle Joe stood there grinning at me like a man who has seen everything and judged nothing. I started panicking. "Uncle Joe, it is not what you think." "Let me explain." He patted my shoulder with the wisdom of 1,000 fathers. "We are all adults here. When your Aunt Lee and I were young, we shared a bed before marriage too. It is completely normal." He paused for dramatic effect. "Just make sure you use protection. We do not need any scandals." I wanted the earth to swallow me whole. "Uncle Joe, we did not do anything." I desperately changed the subject to the Japanese business meeting. His face hardened immediately. "Good. Murder conspiracies are way less awkward than this conversation." We drove to Turtle Mountain, the only real hill in the entire flat city of Jiangnan. 500 meters tall, surrounded by skyscrapers, a beautiful piece of real estate. I remembered from high school that developers had fought over this land with bids exceeding 10 billion yuan. And somehow the Japanese ended up owning the whole thing. Their commercial association headquarters sat on top, built entirely in Japanese architectural style, on Dragon Nation soil, using land that should belong to local people. Funded partially by a factory stolen from my dead father. Rich people were streaming in from all directions. I recognized several faces from the king of Jiangnan's birthday party. The same billionaires who had been trembling in terror 2 days ago were now all smiles, bowing and scraping to the Japanese hosts like nothing had happened. Short memories. Very convenient. Then I spotted someone and my blood went cold. Chun Kunin, my father's old friend. Dad had taken this man in when he was poorer than a beggar, literally could not afford food. Dad fed him, taught him business, treated him like family. And now here he was stepping out of a top-tier Rolls-Royce, wearing a custom suit, Rolex on his wrist, bodyguards flanking him, beautiful secretary at his side. Living large. Looking like a completely different person from the starving nobody my father rescued. A Japanese man in traditional clothing personally greeted him at the door. Uncle Joe confirmed my suspicion with ice in his voice. Chun Kunin is the one managing your father's stolen factory for the Japanese. My father saved this man's life. Gave him everything. And Chun Kunin repaid that kindness by working with the people who profited from my family's murder. I stared at his back as he disappeared through those Japanese doors and made a silent promise. Dad, Chun Kunin betrayed you. I am sending him down to see you personally. The Japanese Commercial Association headquarters looked like someone had literally copy-pasted a chunk of feudal Japan right into downtown Jiangnan. Wooden floors, tatama mats, entrance halls, wooden sandals, and samurai guards with actual katanas standing every few meters. If you blindfolded someone and dropped them here, they would absolutely believe they had been teleported to Kyoto. Except this was the most expensive real estate in MY City, on Dragon Nation soil, occupied by foreigners, built partly with money from my dead father's stolen factory. I watched from across the street as wealthy businessmen streamed through the front gate, bowing and smiling at the Japanese hosts like trained circus seals. These were the same billionaires who had been at the king's birthday party 2 days ago. Apparently, their loyalty expires faster than milk. Chun Kunin arrived in his Rolls-Royce looking like a completely different species from the starving beggar my father once rescued. Custom designer suit, Rolex watch, bodyguards, beautiful secretary. He stepped out of his luxury car and immediately performed a perfect 90-degree Japanese bow to 2 men standing at the entrance. These were Koizumi Kotaro and Tanazawa Kazuo, the 2 vice presidents of the Japanese Commercial Association. Koizumi was praising Chun Kunin like he was employee of the decade. Apparently, Chun had spent 5 years recruiting local businesses into the Japanese Association and was about to be officially named their representative in all of Jiangnan. They even promised to send his children to a prestigious university in Kyoto as a reward for his loyal service. Chun Kunin was practically vibrating with excitement. He bowed deeper. "It is my honor to serve the association," a faithful dog wagging his tail for treats. "This man ate at my family's dinner table. My father treated him like a brother when nobody else would even look at him. And now he was bowing to foreigners who profited from my family's murder." Then Chin started giving strategic advice. With the king of Jiangnan dead and the Zhao family destroyed, the entire region's economy was up for grabs. He suggested the Japanese Association move quickly to absorb all the leaderless businesses. If they acted fast, the association would control all of Jiangnan's commerce. He had already mentally handed my entire homeland's economy to foreign interests. Trader does not even begin to cover it. When he mentioned my name as a potential problem, Tanazawa laughed coldly. "One Yi Beichin? What waves can he make? Your Dragon Nation people are incompetent, getting killed by a 20-something-year-old. You think we are that weak? The Tanazawa family is a martial arts dynasty. If he causes trouble, we kill him." Chun Kunin nodded enthusiastically. Of course he agreed. This spineless worm would agree with anything if it meant keeping his Rolex. That is when I called his name from across the street. "Chun Kunin," he answered reflexively before his brain caught up with his mouth. He turned around, saw me walking toward him through traffic like cars were optional obstacles, and his face went through approximately 7 emotional stages in 2 seconds flat. The Japanese men at the gate stiffened. They stared at me, trying to reconcile the terrifying reputation with what they saw. Apparently, I look like a harmless college student. Good. I like it when people underestimate me. It makes the surprise so much more entertaining. I walked up to Chun Kunin, completely ignoring the Japanese hosts, and locked my eyes onto him like a targeting system acquiring a missile lock. Now, Chun Kunin is many things. A traitor, a parasite, a backstabber. But he is also a survivor. 5 years of climbing the ladder had given him a thick skin and a thicker ego. After his initial shock, he actually managed to compose himself and play the concerned family friend. "Beichin, I heard you were back. 5 years. The tragedy of your family broke my heart. Your father's spirit in heaven must be at peace now." He even looked up at the sky with fake tears glistening in his eyes. Oscar-worthy performance. Truly disgusting. I noticed he called my father Yi Laochi instead of Brother Yi like he used to. When Dad was alive and feeding this man free dinners, it was always Big Brother Yi, with maximum respect. Now that Dad was dead and Chun was rich, my father got demoted to a casual nickname. The disrespect told me everything I needed to know. I smiled pleasantly. "Chun Kunin, I heard my dad's factory ended up in your hands after he died." He hesitated for exactly 1 heartbeat, then launched into the most rehearsed speech of his pathetic career. "Oh, Bei-chun, it was so complicated. The workers elected me as factory manager. I partnered with the Japanese and expanded the business. But if you want it back, I completely support that." He snapped his fingers. His secretary whipped out a checkbook. He scribbled a number with theatrical flourish, signed his name, and held it out to me with his most generous smile. 3,000 million yuan. 30 million. For a factory my father built from nothing, and this parasite grew into a massive enterprise using stolen resources. Take this as compensation. Buy a house. Start a little business. And if you ever need guidance, Uncle Chun can mentor you. He actually called himself Uncle Chun, while handing me pocket change for my murdered father's life work. The audacity was almost impressive. Chun Kyunin, you are so good to me, I sighed, walking toward him with a warm smile. The Japanese guys instinctively stepped backward. They could feel something radiating off me. Not visible, not tangible, but something that made their survival instincts scream. They had heard what I did to the Tai Chi Grandmaster and the King of Jiangnan. Their bodies knew what their brains were still processing. Chun Kyunin saw my smile and relaxed. No hostility detected. He kept holding out the check, mentally congratulating himself. In his head, he had just bought off the son of the man he betrayed for a measly 30 million. Just like father, just like son, he was probably thinking. No ambition, no backbone. I reached for the check. His eyes flickered with triumph. Then I grabbed his wrist instead. What are you? I pulled. His entire arm ripped clean off his body at the shoulder, just separated from his torso like a drumstick from a chicken. Blood erupted from the wound like a broken fire hydrant. The check fluttered to the ground, getting soaked in red. Pain, horror, screaming, chaos, shock. Everything hit Chun Kyunin simultaneously. His face cycled through every human emotion in about half a second before settling on raw, animalistic agony. He collapsed, shrieking at a pitch I did not know adult men could reach. My arm! My arm! You little bastard! Tanazawa, kill him! Please kill him! He was screaming for his Japanese masters to save him. Even while bleeding out, even while missing a limb, his first instinct was to beg foreigners to fight his battles. Loyal dog until the very end. Standing there holding Chun Kyunin's severed arm, surrounded by horrified billionaires and furious Japanese warriors, I felt remarkably calm. This was just the appetizer. The main course was waiting inside that building. Chun Kyunin's screaming echoed across the entire entrance of the Japanese Commercial Association like the world's worst alarm clock. Rich people poured out of the building to see what was happening. Drivers on the road stopped their cars and stared. Everyone got front row seats to watch a traitor receive his performance review. His bodyguards and secretary were frozen in place like mannequins in a department store. Their brains simply could not process what their eyes were seeing. A human arm, ripped off a human body, by another human's bare hands. In their defense, this is not something most people encounter on a Tuesday morning. I dropped the arm on the ground and stomped it into paste. Then I gave Chun Kyunin my full attention. My dad fed you when you were starving. He gave you a roof when you were sleeping on the streets. He taught you business when nobody else would look at you twice. He paid your salary. He treated you like family. And this is how you repaid him. I walked toward him like death taking a casual stroll. Chun Kyunin made the mistake of pointing his remaining hand at me and starting a sentence. Bad move. I grabbed that arm and tore it off too. The sound of muscle and tendons separating from bone made every single person within earshot physically recoil. Even Uncle Zhou behind me was sweating bullets. 2 arms. Gone. Chun Kyunin was now a screaming torso rolling on the ground in a spreading pool of his own blood. The billionaires watching from the doorway looked like they were collectively experiencing a spiritual awakening about the consequences of betrayal. Koizumi finally snapped out of his shock and started yelling at me. Chun is our representative. He has Japanese citizenship now. He is a citizen of our nation. How dare you harm him? Oh, wonderful. The traitor literally changed his nationality. He did not just betray my father. He betrayed his entire country. Somehow that made me feel even better about ripping his arms off. Tanazawa decided to be a hero. He launched at me from behind like a charging bull, fist aimed at my spine. Classic sneak attack. Very dishonorable for someone from a supposed martial arts dynasty. I spun around and punched back. Our fists collided. Tanazawa stumbled backward over a dozen steps and nearly fell into the street. His face went through shock, disbelief, and genuine fear in rapid succession. This man was a legitimate grandmaster, ranked in the top 300 on the entire Asian grandmaster rankings. To put that in perspective, there are only 1,000 spots total, and everyone below 500 basically cheated their way in with performance-enhancing drugs. The top 300 are the real deal, trained through pure dedication, and none of them are younger than 50 years old. I am 23. I just sent a top 300 grandmaster stumbling backward with a casual punch, while simultaneously dismembering a man with my other hand. Multitasking at its finest. While Tanazawa was busy recalculating his life choices, I turned back to Chinkyunin and stomped on his thigh. The entire leg just collapsed like a deflated balloon. Bone, flesh, everything crushed flat. The skin on both sides just stuck together like a sad pancake. He tried to scream, but at this point his body was running out of ways to express agony. He was banging his forehead on the ground, begging for mercy. I am sorry. I was wrong. Please do not kill me. It was the Japanese. They made me do it. Koizumi and Tanazawa wanted to build factories in Jiangnan. Your father was in their way. They told me to handle it. It was all them. There it was. Full confession. Chinkyunin was just the dog. The Japanese businessmen were holding the leash. My father's factory was not just opportunistically stolen. These people had specifically targeted my family's business before the murder even happened. They wanted Dad gone so they could move in. I looked down at Chinkyunin's pathetic, armless, one-legged body thrashing on the ground. He was begging me not to kill him. Relax. You will not die yet. I smiled at him. He did not find my smile comforting. Smart man. For once. I pulled out my silver needles and inserted them into his wounds. The bleeding stopped instantly. He would not bleed to death now. He would just have to lie there, fully conscious, experiencing every ounce of pain from his missing limbs without the mercy of unconsciousness. I had learned from my medical masters that keeping someone alive in maximum suffering is actually harder than killing them. Today I was putting that education to practical use. Then I turned to the Japanese delegation. This dog was yours. He bit my family. How are you planning to settle this? My voice was calm. Conversational even. But Koizumi physically shivered. He later probably described this moment to his therapist. I could see it in his eyes. He had dealt with dangerous people before. Yakuza bosses, corrupt politicians, rival businessmen. None of them had ever made him feel like this. Like standing in front of something that could erase him from existence without raising its heart rate. Koizumi tried diplomacy first. He swore on the honor of the entire Japanese Commercial Association that they had nothing to do with my family's murder. They had planned to go after my father's factory, yes, but before they could act, someone else wiped out my family first. Chinkyunin approached them afterward, offering his services. They just took advantage of an existing situation. Very convenient story. Very rehearsed. Very much still their fault. Tanazawa took a different approach. The threatening kind. He puffed up his chest and warned me that his Tanazawa family had a grandmaster backing them. He told me not to mess around. Koizumi added that attacking Japanese citizens on association grounds would become an international diplomatic incident. Threats and warnings. The classic 1-2 combo of people who think titles and politics can stop fists. I considered their arguments carefully. For about half a second. When a dog makes a mistake, the owner pays for it. And I am curious whether killing you will actually cause an international incident or if that is just something you say to scare people. Koizumi's face drained of all color. He stumbled backward. Tanazawa had apparently planned for this possibility because he screamed, "Kill him!" and an army of black-clad samurai warriors came pouring out of the Japanese Commercial Association building like angry wasps from a disturbed nest. Katanas drawn. Formation tight. Eyes murderous. An entire private army of Japanese swordsmen on Dragon Nation soil, drawing weapons against a Dragon Nation citizen. If anything was going to cause an international incident, it was probably this. But I suppose self-awareness was not included in their samurai training. I cracked my knuckles. This was going to be fun. 30 black-clad samurai warriors charged at me like an angry swarm of wasps wearing bathrobes. These were Tanazawa's personal death soldiers, every single one boosted to heaven rank through drug enhancement. 30 heaven rank fighters attacking simultaneously would give even a regular grandmaster serious problems. The Japanese had been hiding a private army on Dragon Nation soil this whole time. How heartwarming. The first samurai leaped at me with his katana coming down from above like a guillotine blade. Fast, precise, clearly well-trained. I caught the sword between two fingers. Just pinched it. Then I sent a pulse of energy through my fingertips, and the entire blade exploded into a dozen pieces. Fragments of supposedly indestructible Japanese steel scattered across the ground like sad confetti. The samurai stared at his empty handle. That was the last thing he stared at, because my fist went through his chest cavity a moment later. His ribcage caved inward like a crushed soda can. He was dead before his confused expression finished forming. Two more came from both sides simultaneously. I grabbed their heads, one in each hand, and smashed them together like coconuts. The sound was absolutely disgusting, and I am not going to describe it further. You are welcome. 5 more rushed in from behind. Wooden sandals clattering on the pavement, katanas flashing. I ducked low and swept my legs out in a spinning arc, kicking all 5 of them at once. They launched backward like ragdolls and landed in the middle of the road. A cargo truck came barreling through and could not stop in time. It drove right over all 5 of them. The truck driver is going to need serious therapy after today. The remaining samurai screamed something in Japanese that I assume was not complimentary. I did not wait for them to organize. I charged directly into their formation because honestly, standing still and letting them come to me was getting boring. One kick killed one. One punch created a shockwave that traveled through the first warrior and obliterated 7 or 8 guys standing behind him. Their chests all exploded outward simultaneously like dominoes made of bone. I have to admit, even I was slightly impressed by that one. My masters would have given me at least a 7 out of 10. Then I jumped 30 meters straight up into the air. From up there, the remaining samurai looked like little black dots. I came down on them like a meteor with feet, hopping from skull to skull like stepping stones across a river. 1 tap per head, 1 death per tap. Dragonfly touches water. Except the water was people and the dragonfly was committing mass homicide. 30 elite death soldiers. Under 3 minutes. Not a single one left standing. The billionaires watching from the entrance looked like they had collectively aged 40 years. Uncle Joe was trembling behind me, and he is on MY's side. Every rich person present was experiencing what I believe psychologists call a complete reevaluation of all previously held beliefs about human physical limitations. I scanned the area. Koizumi and Tanazawa had vanished during the fight. Ran like cockroaches when the lights come on. Classic move. Very brave leadership from the guys who were threatening me with international incidents 5 minutes ago. I told Uncle Joe to watch Chinkyunin and walked into the Japanese Commercial Association building. Time to finish this. Inside, I found more guards. They lasted about as long as you would expect, which is to say, they did not. I worked my way through the building like a very angry tourist who had been overcharged at every attraction. Koizumi and Tanazawa had barricaded themselves in some kind of panic room deep inside the compound. The walls were 5-centimeter thick steel plates. Military grade. Tanazawa was actually feeling confident about this. He told Koizumi to relax, because even artillery could not penetrate these walls. Then my fist hit the steel. Clang. A fist-shaped bulge appeared on the inside of the wall. The steel literally deformed inward from the impact. Koizumi screamed so hard his eardrums burst and started bleeding. Tanazawa's confidence evaporated like morning dew on a volcano. Clang. Second punch. Second fist print. Clang. 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 I just kept punching. Each hit left another perfect fist impression, pushing through 5 centimeters of solid steel. Tanazawa was shaking uncontrollably now, staring at the growing collection of dents, and finally understanding exactly how outclassed he was. This man is a ranked grandmaster, top 300 in all of Asia, and he was watching me do something that supposedly even a grandmaster could not accomplish. Inside the panic room, Koizumi was having a full emotional breakdown. He was fumbling with a phone, trying to call someone named Tokugawa at the Japanese embassy in Shanghai. His hands were shaking so badly, he could barely dial. The mighty Japanese businessman who had been smugly threatening me with diplomatic consequences was now sobbing into a telephone begging to be rescued. Tokugawa, help. A madman has attacked our association. All the warriors are dead. He is outside the safe room right now. He is punching through steel walls. Please save me. I am your most loyal servant. On the other end, Tokugawa Masao was sitting in his luxurious embassy office in Shanghai, completely blindsided. He could hear my fists hitting steel through the phone. Each impact sounded like a bomb going off. He had absolutely no idea what was happening in Jiangnan. Clang, clang, clang. Koizumi's mental state had officially left the building. This man who thought Dragon Nation people were easy to manipulate, who believed he could bully and threaten his way through anything, who laughed at the idea of one young man causing problems, was now crying on the floor of his supposedly impenetrable safe room while I methodically punched my way through military-grade steel plating with my bare fists. Then came one final massive impact. The phone connection cut dead. Tokugawa screamed into the receiver. Koizumi? Koizumi. Hello? Speak to me. Silence. He slammed his desk and started barking orders. Find out what is happening in Jiangnan. Now. Too late, buddy. By the time your people get there, I will have already redecorated this entire building. And by redecorated, I mean reduced every hostile occupant to a state where interior design is no longer their primary concern. 5 centimeters of steel. My masters once told me that true power is not about breaking walls. It is about making your enemies realize that no wall will ever be thick enough. Today, Koizumi and Tenazawa learned that lesson the hard way. In a room they thought was invincible, behind walls they believed were unbreakable. Nothing is unbreakable when I am standing outside. One final punch, and the 5-centimeter steel plate cracked open like a tin can. I literally punched a rectangular hole through military-grade armor plating with my bare fists. The chunk of steel flew inside and obliterated Koizumi's desk along with whatever phone call he had been desperately making. Connection terminated. By me. Physically. Koizumi saw my face appear through the hole, and his legs gave out immediately. Just completely surrendered to gravity. This man had been threatening me with international incidents 10 minutes ago. Now he looked like a toddler who had wandered into the wrong neighborhood. Tenazawa, the Grandmaster, took a different approach. He dropped to his knees, pressed his forehead to the floor, and started performing the most dramatic surrender speech in the history of Japanese martial arts. The man who had screamed about his family's warrior pride was now on the ground offering to make me his family's eternal master if I spared his life. I was wrong. It has nothing to do with me. I will leave Dragon Nation forever. I will never return. You are my Lord and Savior. The Tenazawa family will retreat 3 cities whenever they hear your name. Meanwhile, he was secretly making hand signals to Koizumi behind his back. The old snake was planning something. He figured if he could get within 2 meters of me on his way out, he could launch a surprise attack that would supposedly kill even a Grandmaster. 2 meters was his kill zone. His ace in the hole. His final trump card. I asked him about my family's factory. He immediately threw Koizumi under the bus with zero hesitation. Sold out his partner faster than a clearance sale at a bankrupt store. According to Tenazawa, everything was orchestrated by someone named Tokugawa Masao and Koizumi. The Tokugawa family was apparently a top-tier dynasty in Japan with 6 of the island nation's 10 greatest martial arts families serving under them. They wanted to expand into Dragon Nation. My father's factory was in their way, and they had even called Dad to threaten him. My father refused. Because of course he did. That man was made of iron. Tenazawa swore up and down that he personally never harmed my family and begged me to let him go. I pretended to consider this very carefully. Then I nodded and said the magic words. Fine. Get lost. His eyes lit up with barely concealed murderous glee. I could practically read the subtitles scrolling through his brain. H.A. He fell for it. Once I pass through that door, I will be within striking distance. 2 meters. 1 attack. Heart ripped out. Victory. He jumped up and started walking toward the door behind me. My back was turned to him. The exit was 3 meters behind me. To leave, he would have to pass within arm's reach. 5 meters. 4 meters. 3 meters. 2 meters. He passed my shoulder. 1 meter behind me now. The closest distance possible. Die, he roared, channeling every ounce of his internal energy into one arm. His hand shot toward my back like a venomous snake, aimed directly at my heart. Maximum power. Maximum speed. Maximum confidence. He was already wearing his victory smile. Then he heard a crack. My hand had twisted backward at an angle that should not be anatomically possible and grabbed his wrist. Without even turning around. Without even looking, I just reached behind myself and caught his attack like swatting a fly over my shoulder. His wrist was locked in my grip like it was encased in concrete. Could not move forward. Could not pull back. Could not do anything except stand there and slowly realize that his entire plan had failed spectacularly. How? How? He screamed. This distance. Full power. Even a Grandmaster could not react this fast. What are you? That is a question a lot of people have been asking me lately. I still do not have a satisfying answer. I just train hard and eat well, and occasionally rip people's arms off. Speaking of which, I turned my head and smiled at him. That was a pretty funny joke. Let me tell you one too. I tore his arm off. He screamed. Then I grabbed the other arm and tore that one off too. A matching set. He collapsed on the floor like a puppet with its strings cut, thrashing and shrieking. The great Tenazawa Kazuo, ranked in the top 300 grandmasters across all of Asia, head of a legendary martial arts family, now armless and writhing on the ground of a steel room he thought was impenetrable. Good joke, right? I asked pleasantly. He looked up at me with pure unadulterated horror. I will haunt you. Even as a ghost, I will never forgive you. Cool. Let me help you get started on that. I stomped on his head. One grandmaster, permanently retired from both the martial arts world and the world in general. Koizumi was the last one alive. He had sold himself. Literally. The smell in the steel room was now a biohazard concern. He crawled toward me on his belly like a worm, smashing his forehead against the floor, blood streaming down his face. Lord Yi, mercy, mercy please. I looked down at this pathetic creature and listed his crimes for him. 1. You had designs on my family. 2. You stole my family's business. 3. You are a foreigner causing havoc on Dragon Nation soil. Each offense alone was enough. Together they were a death sentence. He raised a shaking finger, pointing at me. His mouth opened to say something. I was about to finish him off when a voice came from behind me. Yi Beichin, wait. I will not allow you to kill him. Someone had arrived. Someone who apparently thought they had the authority to give me orders. Someone who clearly did not watch the last 30 minutes of me punching through steel walls and dismembering grandmasters like they were made of cardboard. I did not turn around immediately. I just stood there, foot inches from Koizumi's head, processing the sheer audacity of someone walking into this scene and opening with, I will not allow you. Buddy, look around this room. Look at the fist-shaped holes in the steel walls. Look at the armless corpse on the floor. Look at the grown man crying in his own waste at my feet. And then reconsider your word choice. Because, I will not allow you, is a very bold opening line given the current context. Koizumi looked up from the floor and saw his salvation walk through the door. Young Master Jun, save me. He started crying like he had found his long-lost mother at a train station. Jun Wuhue strolled in with his hands behind his back, looking like he owned the entire building. Behind him were his entourage, plus a whole crowd of Jiangnan billionaires, including familiar faces from the king's birthday disaster. Wang Fuguei, the county's richest man, the car company CEO, Boss Lin from the Garden Estate. All the greatest hits from my previous adventures in terrorizing the upper class. And Uncle Zhou was with them too, being held by Jun Wuhue's people. His face was white and his shoulders were shaking. They had grabbed him while I was inside punching through steel walls, using my family as leverage twice in 2 days. These people really do not learn. Jun Wuhue recognized me from the hotel incident with senior sister. He was still salty about getting his elite bodyguards beaten by Ghost Shadow and Cold Charm. Now he was back for round 2, apparently thinking the result would be different without senior sister present. He explained his position very calmly. The Japanese Commercial Association did business with his Jun family. Koizumi was their partner. Killing Koizumi would hurt Jun family profits. Therefore, I should not kill Koizumi. Simple corporate logic applied to a murder scene. Very professional. Then he introduced his backup. Azure Dragon, ranked 279 on the Asian Grandmaster rankings. Vermilion Bird, ranked 286. Both stepped forward and released their Grandmaster pressure like they were flexing at a bodybuilding competition. We are not trash like Yang Tianxian, Azure Dragon said coolly. That drug-enhanced fraud does not count as a real Grandmaster. Vermilion Bird added her own smirk. Yang Tianxian was garbage. We are the real thing. Very intimidating speech. Very confident delivery. I gave it a solid 8 out of 10 for dramatic presentation. Uncle Zhou was begging me to stop. His voice was cracking. He was terrified of the Jun family, terrified of the war god connection, terrified of everything. The billionaires behind Jun Wuhue all had their heads down like students who had not done their homework. And then Koizumi, the man who had been sobbing and crawling in his own filth 30 seconds ago, suddenly found his courage again. He scrambled to his feet and started laughing. Ha ha ha. Yi Beichin. I am saved. You cannot kill me now. The Jun family protects me. What can you possibly do? Annoying, I said. I backhanded him across the face. His head spun around several times on his neck like an owl that had been hit by a tornado. His neck snapped clean through. He dropped dead mid-laugh. The sound cut off like someone had unplugged a speaker. Jun Woohui's eye twitched so hard I thought it might detach from his face. I had just killed the man he explicitly told me not to kill, in front of dozens of witnesses, while making direct eye contact with his bodyguards. While his hand was still raised from his dramatic, "I will not allow it," gesture. "You dare," he snarled. "Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird. Take him down. If he resists, kill him." He turned his back to me and started walking toward the exit. Very dramatic. Very confident. Counting his steps like a movie villain who knows the job is being handled behind him. 1 step. 2 steps. 3 steps. His bodyguards moved toward me. 7 steps. 8 steps. 9 steps. By step 10, he was thinking to himself that surely Azure Dragon and Vermilion Bird had subdued me by now. 10 steps was more than enough time for 2 top 300 grandmasters to handle one person. The billionaires behind him were staring at his back with expressions of pure horror. Someone tried to say something. Jun Woohui noticed the weird energy and turned around. His pupils expanded to the size of dinner plates. Azure Dragon was face down on the ground with a hole punched through his back. Vermilion Bird was dangling from my hand by her throat, and as Jun Woohui watched, I squeezed. Her neck crumbled like a dry cookie. I dropped her body next to Azure Dragon's corpse. The war god's 2 personal Dharma protectors, his most trusted elite fighters, both ranked in the top 300 of the entire Asian continent. Dead, in the time it took Jun Woohui to walk 10 casual steps. My senior sister's bodyguards had only managed to injure these 2 and drive them away. I killed them both in under 10 seconds without breaking a sweat. The power gap between me and senior sister was apparently larger than either of us realized. Every single person in that room collectively forgot how to breathe. Wang Fugui's mouth was hanging open wide enough to fit a whole fist inside. Boss Lin was shaking like a washing machine on spin cycle. Uncle Zhou looked like his brain had shut down and was rebooting in safe mode. I smiled at Uncle Zhou. Relax. I came back this time so that nobody would ever bully the Zhou family or the Yi family again. Good. Good. He was trembling so hard the words barely came out. Fear, excitement, shock, pride, all blended into one overwhelming emotional smoothie. I turned toward Jun Woohui and started walking. Stop. Do not come closer. He was backing away, stumbling over his own feet. The mighty aura of superiority he had been wearing like an expensive cologne had completely evaporated. He looked exactly like what he was. A scared rich kid who had just watched his entire security detail get erased. What do you think I am going to do? I asked with a friendly smile. Stay back. I am from the Jun family of Zhonghai. You would not dare hurt me. Stop. He tripped and fell on his butt, sitting on the ground, looking up at me with naked terror in his eyes. All the arrogance, all the swagger, all the "I am the war god's son" energy was gone. Just a frightened boy on the floor. Then he played his last card. The nuclear option. The one secret everyone whispered about, but nobody confirmed. My father is the war godling thing. He screamed at the top of his lungs. There it was. The ultimate trump card. The name that made generals salute and kings bow. The man who commanded over 1 million soldiers across 4 regions. The most powerful warrior in the entire Southeast. Jun Woohui had finally admitted publicly what everyone had always suspected. He was the war god's illegitimate son. He screamed it, expecting me to freeze. Expecting the name alone to save his life. Expecting that even someone as insane as me would not dare touch the war god's bloodline. The war god, huh? That is quite the pedigree, I said thoughtfully. Then I stomped on his head, and it popped like a watermelon. The silence that followed was so absolute I could hear heartbeats from across the room. Jun Woohui, the war god's son, dead, under my foot, in front of every major businessman in Jiangnan. I walked toward the exit, passing through the crowd of frozen billionaires and trembling tycoons. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Nobody even blinked. As I stepped out of the Japanese Commercial Association building into the sunlight, I spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. From this moment forward, there is no more Japanese Commercial Association in Jiangnan. The Yi family is back. The news spread faster than wildfire. Jiangnan's entire business world shook. Then it reached Zhonghai, and the upper echelons of society experienced what seismologists would classify as a magnitude 9 earthquake. The Zhao family being destroyed barely registered. The king dying caused some ripples. But killing the Japanese association and the war god's acknowledged son on the same morning? That was extinction-level news. Somewhere in the shadows of every boardroom and mansion across the region, the same question was being whispered by people who thought they were untouchable. Yi Beichen. What is he? And what is he going to do next? So apparently I ruined a lot of people's mornings today. First up, the Jun family. Jun Wuhui's body got flown back home. And let me tell you, his mom Jun Wenjing was not happy about the whole exploded head situation. She's screaming, crying, throwing herself on the corpse. Real dramatic stuff. Then who walks in? Jun Wuhui's secret daddy himself, the Lingfeng war god. Full armor, big dramatic entrance, the whole 9 yards. Jun Wenjing slapped him right across the face. His bodyguards nearly had a stroke, but war god daddy just took it like a champ and went all, "I'm sorry, babe. I'll avenge our son." Real touching. I'm shaking in my boots. Really. Totally. Meanwhile, over at the Japanese embassy, this dude Tokugawa Masao heard that I wiped out their entire trade association and made every company in Jiangnan cancel their contracts. He pulled out a samurai sword and went full rage mode on his own office furniture. Chopped up millions worth of fancy redwood desks. Buddy, that furniture didn't do anything to you. Now here's the fun part. Over at the Han family, old grandpa Han Jinlong is actually a fan of mine. He's comparing me to his younger self, calling me a monster talent. And then, oh boy, he tries to set me up with his granddaughter Hanyu. She's standing there blushing and stomping her feet like a shy anime character while grandpa's out here playing matchmaker. Sir, I don't even know you like that. My senior sister Wang Rian also heard the news. She just shook her head, called me a troublemaker, and immediately started rallying troops to protect me. Honestly, best senior sister ever. And me? I couldn't care less about any of this chaos. I just went home. My fiancée Ruoyu ran up and jumped into my arms, all pouty because I left without eating breakfast. She made me mung bean soup because it's hot outside. That's it. That's my priority. Soup. But plot twist. Across the street at some coffee shop, Xia Ruoxue was watching the whole hug scene, shaking and crying. Her friend Sun Qian was absolutely losing her mind, calling me a cheating scumbag because apparently I slept with Xia Ruoxue like 2 days ago, and now I'm hugging another woman. Look, I never said life was simple. I just said the soup was good. So here's the thing. While I was inside my mansion sipping mung bean soup like a civilized man, absolute chaos was happening literally 100 meters away. Did I know? Nope. Not a clue. Turns out, Xia Ruoxue, bless her heart, was so worried about me after I rushed out of Jinling yesterday that she couldn't function. Didn't even call in sick at work. Just bought the earliest bullet train ticket and zoomed straight to Jiangnan to find me. After asking around, she figured out the old Jiangnan King's mansion is now MY Mansion. But the guards out front are terrifying, so she just waited outside like a lost puppy. Then she saw me hug Ruoyu, and her whole world crumbled. Tears everywhere. Meanwhile, her friend Sun Qian was having a full meltdown on her behalf, calling me every name in the book. Cheating scumbag, heartless jerk, the works. Ruoxue recognized Ruoyu though. Turns out they were high school classmates. And Ruoxue remembered hearing about my engagement to Ruoyu. Sun Qian got even more furious. He has a FINC and he's flirting with you. She wanted to storm over and fight me. Ruoxue was panicking, refusing to go. And then, because today apparently couldn't get weird enough, while those two were arguing outside the coffee shop, a bunch of creepy pale dudes with tattoos and Japanese accents surrounded them. Ninjas. Actual freaking ninjas. In broad daylight. In modern China. Just casually kidnapping women off the street. Sun Qian, who has zero survival instincts and maximum attitude, thought it was a reality TV show. She's yelling at armed ninjas asking where the cameras are hidden. One ninja got so mad, he almost chopped her head off with a katana. This girl literally almost died because she thought she was being pranked. Their boss? Some big-shot ninja named Yagyu Ichida Fuji. Apparently a wanted criminal in my country for 15 years, a swordsmanship grandmaster who walks around with 2 cross katanas on his back like he's in an anime. His guys had already tried sneaking into my mansion 3 times. All three got killed. So instead, they grabbed Roashue and Sun Qian as bait because they looked connected to me. Now here's where it gets interesting. There's this woman named Yu Wei, the Dragon Group's top female soldier, the one I stuck silver needles into last time. She was coming to my place to ask me to remove them, and she happened to witness the whole kidnapping. Her brilliant plan? Save those girls, make me owe her a favor, then cash it in to get the needles out. Smart lady. She followed the ninjas to some abandoned water plant in the suburbs. The place was crawling with over 30 ninjas, plus lookout posts everywhere. Yu Wei, who moves like a cat, climbed onto the tin roof to spy. Then Yagyu detected her. Because of course the Grandmaster Ninja has superhuman hearing. What followed was genuinely impressive though. Yu Wei started raining arrows, popping ninjas left and right. Shot one guy's brains out. 3 more tried sneaking up behind her. 3 arrows, 3 dead. The woman is a machine. But then Yagyu himself jumped up there, and this maniac literally sliced her steel arrows in half with his sword. Yu Wei pulled out a glider wing. She came prepared this time, and tried to fly away. Bad news. There was a second master ninja hiding in some kind of black fog. He punched her so hard she coughed up blood and went falling toward the ground like a broken kite. And me? I was probably on my second bowl of mung bean soup, completely oblivious. Life's good when you don't know what's happening. So there I was, finally sitting down, enjoying Ruoyu's homemade mung bean soup like a normal human being. Just vibing, spoon in hand, peace in my heart. Life was beautiful for approximately 4 sips. Then my phone buzzed. A text message from some random, unknown number. 4 words, North Suburbs Water Plant. That's it. No context. No emoji. No, hey how are you? Just cryptic nonsense like I'm in some kind of spy movie. I stared at it for a second, thinking maybe someone's drunk texting the wrong number. But something felt off, so I called back. Ring, ring, ring. Nobody picked up. On the other end, though I didn't know this yet, Yu Wei was lying on the ground after getting absolutely demolished by that second ninja. Her phone had landed 3 meters away from her. She was crawling toward it, trying to answer my call, when Yagyu Ichidafuji jumped down from the roof and stomped her phone into dust. Then someone knocked her out cold. Great. Very helpful. Send me a mysterious forward text, and then immediately become unreachable. Thanks for that. I tried calling again. The number you have dialed is not in service. Fantastic. Now I'm sitting there with my soup getting cold, feeling genuinely confused, when one of our guys, a martial arts grandmaster named Shun, he that my 10th senior sister stationed here, walks up to me all respectful and says, "Young master, 15 minutes ago, intruders broke into the estate." I asked who. 3 Japanese ninjas. They realized they couldn't escape, so they all swallowed poison and killed themselves. I jumped up so fast the soup nearly went flying. My brain started doing math. I just got back to Jiang a few days ago. My phone number is brand new. Only a handful of people even have it. My 10th senior sister, Ruoyu's family, Xia Ruoshue, and Yu Wei. Senior sister wouldn't send me a weird forward text. Ruoyu's standing right next to me. Could it be Yu Wei? Maybe she found some intel? Or wait, Ruoshue? But why would she tell me to go to some water plant? She's in Jinling. I tried calling her number. Dead. Not in service either. Ruoshue is in Jinling. How on earth is her phone out of service range? That's when a servant came sprinting in, whispered something to Shun He, and handed him a tablet. Shun He's face changed, and he rushed over to me. "Young master, 30 minutes ago, our sentries outside saw Japanese men grab 2 girls from across the street by the coffee shop. We pulled the surveillance footage. Take a look." I grabbed that tablet, and my stomach dropped straight through the floor. Ruoshue, Sun Qian, on the screen, being shoved into a van by Japanese goons. What are they even doing in Jiangnan? I practically shouted. But there was no time for questions. Move. North Suburbs Water Plant. Now, Shinhei yelled for a car, and we tore out of there. We reached the water plant at maximum speed. Found a car hidden in the bushes. Broke open the door. Inside were some girls' belongings. No idea whose. Shinhei sent his guys fanning out like ants across the property. They came back fast with reports, signs of a fight everywhere, and 4 dead Japanese ninja bodies inside the factory building. I walked in and inspected the corpses. Every single one had an arrow straight through the heart. Clean kills. Professional. Shinhei brought me a handful of steel arrowheads they found scattered around. Yu Wei's arrows. I said, recognizing them immediately. So SHE was here too. She must have followed the kidnappers, tried to rescue the girls, and then things went sideways. That text message was her last move before getting taken down. Smart woman. Bad luck though. We searched every inch of that place, but found nothing else useful. The trail led from the water plant all the way to the riverbank, then vanished completely. I stood there staring at the wide, open river. They crossed to the other side. Shunhee looked at the churning water and said, "That's Jiangbei territory." Oh good. Jiangbei. The place where martial arts masters grow on trees. Shunhee launched into a whole briefing about how Jiangnan has the government troops, but they're basically decorative, while Jiangbei is where the real fighters live. The Southeast Province Martial Arts Association headquarters is over there. At least a dozen grandmasters. And if the Japanese went there, things could get complicated. I don't care how complicated it gets, I told him. We're going to Jiangbei. He asked if we should call my 10th senior sister for backup. I said no. I'm not dragging her into everything. We crossed the bridge and rolled into Jiangbei. Shunhee got a phone call. Intel came in. 15 minutes earlier, a group of Japanese nationals entered some Japanese-owned club in the area. Let's go, I said. Shunhee tried one more time to warn me. Young master, this club has the backing of the Southeast Martial Arts Association's vice president. Are you sure about this? I looked at him dead in the eyes. I don't care if the vice president, the Jiangbei king, or the Lingfeng war god himself owns shares in this place. Drive. We pulled up to the club. Paradise Hot Springs, some fancy Japanese spa with hot springs, special Island Nation entertainment packages, the works. Rich people from 5 different provinces come here to blow money. Shunhee reported that 3 girls had been brought inside. 3. Ruoxue, Sun Qian, and Yu Yue. All in there. I walked straight in. Some Japanese doorman told me it's a private club and I need a reservation. I slapped him to the ground without breaking stride. A dozen sumo wrestlers poured out of the entrance. Mountains of flesh, black tattoos, angry faces, the whole intimidating package. They charged at me. I punched the first one. This dude weighed 250 kilograms. He hit the ground with a stopped heart, dead before he landed. The rest froze. Absolute terror in their eyes. I kept walking. 1 punch per person. Nobody lasted longer than that. Bring me whoever runs this place, I announced. Or every Japanese person in this building dies. One by one, some idiot started screaming about this being Japanese territory. I stepped forward, kicked him down, and crushed his skull under my foot like a watermelon. He didn't even finish his sentence. Then I walked inside, hands behind my back, like death himself coming for a visit. The whole place shook. I gave them a very simple deal. Show your face in 5 minutes, or I kill every Japanese person in this building. I thought that was pretty reasonable. Generous, even. 5 whole minutes. Most people don't get that kind of courtesy from me. Some Japanese dude in a bathrobe and wooden sandals came stomping out, tattoos all over his chest, screaming, "Who do you think you are? How dare you?" He never finished that sentence. I kicked a rock from a nearby flower bed straight into his skull. His head popped like a balloon at a birthday party nobody was enjoying. Look, I told them the rules. 1 second without the boss showing up equals 1 dead Japanese person. I was being mathematically fair about the whole thing. This wasn't chaos. This was a countdown, and nobody came out. So I kept going. 3 minutes in, the entire Paradise Hot Springs looked like a horror movie set. Bodies everywhere. Every single Japanese person who dared show their face in my line of sight got sent to meet their ancestors. Men, women, didn't matter. I gave them the terms. They chose wrong. Deep inside the building, the actual owner, a guy named Saito Asaka, nearly fell out of his chair when he got the news. What do you mean someone named Yi Beichen is killing everyone? His boys filled him in real quick. This is the same guy who wiped out the Zhao family, caused the Jiangnan king's death, destroyed the entire Japanese trade association an hour ago, killed Koizumi Kotaro, killed Tanazawa Kazuo, and, oh yeah, also murdered Jun Wuhue, the Lingfeng war god's own biological son. Saito went from furious to genuinely scared in about 2 seconds flat. Smart man. Slow but smart. Yagyu Ichida Fuji, the sword grandmaster who kidnapped my girls, was right there with Saito, calmly explaining just how much damage I had already done today. He listed my crimes like he was reading a restaurant menu. Destroyed the trade association. Killed their leaders. Killed a war god's son. And now I was in their club, turning their staff into floor decorations. Saito grabbed his phone and called for backup. Now here's the fun part. While I was redecorating Paradise Hot Springs with corpses, the Southeast Province Martial Arts Association was having a meeting across town. These are the big dogs of Jiangbei, the real martial arts powerhouses. A bunch of middle-aged men sitting around a table, discussing the chaos I caused in Jiangnan like it was the morning newspaper. This Yi Beichen kid is bold, one of them said. Yeah, no kidding. He destroyed the Zhao family, crashed the Jiangnan king's birthday, and now he killed the war god's son? Does he think he's invincible? Another one was shaking his head, all disapproving. But then someone clever spoke up. Actually, this is perfect for us. And suddenly everyone got real quiet and started thinking with their business brains instead of their martial arts brains. See, while the Jiangnan king was alive, these Jiangbei guys couldn't touch anything south of the river. The king was the Lingfeng war god's puppet, collecting money and keeping order. But now the king is dead. The Zhao family is gone. The Japanese Trade Association is destroyed. Jiangnan is a mess. Total chaos. And chaos, for these opportunistic gentlemen, means opportunity. They could swoop in and grab Jiangnan while everyone's fighting over the scraps. The only problem? My senior sister Wang Ruyan. They mentioned her name, and the whole room went quiet. Even these tough guys didn't want to mess with her. One old man scoffed and said she's just a woman, but you could tell nobody was fully convinced. Then the vice president Ma Ligua's phone rang. He answered, listened for about 3 seconds, and shot out of his chair like someone lit it on fire. This Yi Beichen is absolutely insane. Everyone stared at him. He crossed the river. He's in Jiangbei. He's inside Paradise Hot Springs right now, and he's already killed over 30 Japanese people. The temperature in that room dropped to absolute zero. See, these guys were perfectly happy watching me destroy Jiangnan. Popcorn and lawn chairs, baby. But me coming to their territory? Completely different story. That crossed their line. The old man called me a brat. Someone slammed the table. Maligua said they needed to get to the club before I burned it to the ground. They all rushed out. Meanwhile, back at my one-man apocalypse, Saito had been trying to stall. He wanted to wait for the Martial Arts Association people to arrive and handle me. But I wasn't exactly giving him time to wait. I had already killed most of the Japanese customers in the building. The place looked like hell with better interior design. Finally, Saito came out, surrounded by samurai bodyguards, wearing his glasses and fancy kimono robe, looking all dignified on his little wooden sandals. Stop this at once, Master Yi. I am the owner of this establishment. You're killing our people without any regard for the great Japanese empire. I looked at him. Glasses, kimono, wooden shoes. Very cultural. You're the boss? I asked. He nodded. Yes, and I know who you are. We have no quarrel between us. This killing is unnecessary. I didn't let him finish his little speech. 3 women were brought here. Hand them over. I leave immediately. He actually had the nerve to chuckle. Master Yi, so many women come through here every day. How would I possibly know which ones you mean? Wrong answer. I launched myself at him like a monkey, landed right in front of his face, and grabbed his throat with one hand. Squeezed. His eyes bulged out. The color drained from his face. He finally understood exactly how scary I am when I'm not in a good mood. You want to play word games with me? You want to play dumb? His samurai guards went nuts, pulling their swords, screaming at me to release him. I kicked Sato's lower leg sideways. The bone snapped clean through his skin. He screamed so loud I'm pretty sure they heard it in Jiangnan. Back off. Everyone back OFF. Saito shrieked at his own guards, tears and snot running down his face. And that's exactly when Ma Ligua and the entire Martial Arts Association squad came bursting through the doors. Perfect timing. They walked in just in time to see me holding their business partner by the throat, with his leg bone sticking out of his flesh. Ma Ligua roared at me. Yi Beichen, you've got some nerve. Jiangbei is not your playground. I looked at him, still holding Saito like a broken toy. Oh good. More people who need to learn today's lesson. Ma Ligua and his whole squad from the Southeast Province Martial Arts Association came marching in like they owned the place. Which, to be fair, they kind of did. Over a dozen people, every single one a martial arts grandmaster. The pressure coming off these guys was so thick you could spread it on toast. Regular people in the room could barely breathe. Saito, the guy whose throat I was still holding and whose leg bone was currently saying hello to the outside world, saw Ma Ligua and immediately turned into the world's most dramatic victim. Vice President Ma, save me. This Yi Beichen is a criminal. He barged into Paradise Hot Springs and started killing people for no reason. And these 3 women he keeps talking about? I have no idea what he means. Please, you must stand up for us Japanese people. Is this how Chinese people behave? With no reason or logic. Oscar-worthy performance, honestly. Tears, snot, broken leg, the whole package. 10 out of 10 for commitment. Malik was strutted over with the confidence of a man who has never been told no in his entire life. He stared me down like I was a bug on his windshield. Yi Beichen, this is Jiangbei, not Jiangnan. Shun He leaned in and whispered to me who this guy was. Vice President of the Southeast Province Martial Arts Association. Big deal around here. Maligwa noticed Shun He and actually laughed at him. Shun He, you're ranked on the Asian Grandmaster leaderboard. And you're following behind this kid like a servant? How far you've fallen? Shun He didn't even blink. None of your business. Maligwa turned back to me and dropped his voice to that classic threatening tone. Release Mr. Saito. Now, I smiled. Are you threatening me? So what if I am? This is Jiangbei. He stood there with his hands behind his back like some kind of imperial general. Saito, still on the ground with my foot near his face, suddenly got brave again. He gave me this creepy snake-eyed grin, sweat pouring down his forehead, leg bone poking through his skin, and actually started talking trash. Yi Beichen, you're too arrogant. Paradise Hot Springs is not a place for you to act wild. Mr. Ma has already spoken, and you still dare to. He didn't finish that sentence either. Nobody ever finishes their sentences around me. It's becoming a pattern. I threw him on the ground and stomped on his chest. The sound his ribcage made was absolutely disgusting. His entire chest caved in like a crushed soda can. Bones snapped and punctured his internal organs. He screamed like a pig being slaughtered, which, honestly, wasn't far off from what was happening. He lay there twitching on the floor while I rested my foot gently on his head. Not hard, just enough so he couldn't lift his face off the ground. Just enough so he could feel every ounce of humiliation in front of all these people watching. His samurai bodyguards completely lost it. They charged at me with their katanas screaming about avenging their master. Shun He stepped forward with all the emotion of someone taking out the trash and killed every single one of them. The rich Jiangbei businessmen watching from the sidelines went absolutely insane with gossip. Does he think the Martial Arts Association doesn't exist? I heard he was lawless in Jiangnan, but I thought it was exaggerated. This young man is terrifying. Maligwa and his association buddies looked like they were about to have simultaneous strokes. Their faces turned black with rage. These are men who rule Jiangbei with an iron fist. When they speak, nobody talks back. And here I was, stomping on their business partner's face while their audience watched and whispered. Yi Beichen, you're asking to die, Maligwa roared. He took one step forward and the stone tiles under his foot exploded into pieces. His internal energy surged outward, ripping his shirt apart like tissue paper. Muscles bulged everywhere. The man looked like an angry bodybuilder who just discovered someone keyed his car. He launched a punch at my chest so fast it was like a bullet. I punched back. Our fists collided. I stood completely still, didn't move an inch. Maligwa stumbled backward 7 steps. I looked at him and said one word, scram. The room went dead silent, then erupted. Every rich person watching had their jaw on the floor. This was the vice president of the Martial Arts Association, top 20 fighter in the entire Southeast province. And I just knocked him back 7 steps with a single punch while standing perfectly still. The old man they called Elder Song, the crankiest member of the association crew, narrowed his eyes and muttered that I used a clever technique to redirect force. He told the others I wasn't actually stronger than Maligwa, just tricky. Maligwa didn't care about technique analysis. He was standing there with a numb wrist, aching fist, and a face redder than a tomato. He just got pushed back 7 steps in front of every important person in Jiangbei. And I told him to scram. This man was ready to commit murder out of pure embarrassment. Yi Beichen, I gave you a chance. You didn't take it. I don't care what connections you have. Today, I'm killing you. He was literally grinding the words out through clenched teeth. He stomped the ground. His internal energy erupted like a volcano. The sound that came out of him was like a tiger roaring mixed with a dragon howling. Everyone in the room stumbled backward. Rich businessmen were shaking in their expensive shoes. For a moment, It genuinely felt like facing a mountain tiger ready to pounce. Then he leaped. Full tiger hunting prey mode. Both hands shaped into claws. One aimed at my heart, one aimed at my throat. Absolutely vicious. Zero mercy. Everyone watching thought I was frozen with fear because I didn't move at all. Elder Song declared me a dead man. At 2 meters distance between grandmasters, if you haven't made your move, you're done. The association members were already smirking. 1 meter left. That's when I spoke. I told you to scram. I raised my fist and threw one punch. It was faster than lightning. Maligua couldn't even react. My fist landed directly on his heart. And then something happened that made every single person in that room question reality. Starting from the impact point on his heart, his chest muscles rippled outward in circles, like dropping a stone into still water. Maligua's heart seized. His chest muscles tore apart from the inside. He coughed up a fountain of blood and flew backward like a dead dog launched from a catapult. He hit the ground with a heavy thud. Vice President of the Southeast Province Martial Arts Association. Maligua. Dead. One punch. I didn't even move my feet. The whole world just shut up. Every single mouth in that building closed at the exact same time. You could hear a pin drop. You could hear a mosquito thinking about landing. That's how quiet it got after Maligua hit the floor. Saito, still under my foot, remember him? Looked like his eyeballs were about to launch out of his skull like ping-pong balls. The guy literally forgot about his own broken leg and crushed chest for a second because watching me one-punch his protector into the afterlife was that shocking. His whole body was shaking like a phone on vibrate mode. One of the Martial Arts Association guys walked over to Maligua's body, checked for breathing, then turned to Elder Song and slowly shook his head. Dead. The entire association crew instinctively took one step backward. All of them. At the same time. Like synchronized swimmers, except terrified. The rich businessmen watching from the sidelines completely lost their minds. That was the vice president. Maligua is dead, killed by some young guy from Jiangnan who lost everything 5 years ago. The gasps were so loud it sounded like a vacuum cleaner convention.